Hello,
Hello, Rodarte. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Where are you headed to?
I'm actually headed home. I'm sorry for doing this, but it's a little more traffic than I thought.
It's all
I'm
right.
like I'm 5 minutes away from my house,
It's all good.
and
Um,
I have a 4 o'clock demo,
okay, so you got to get going here and like in
and well, I kind of want to talk to you about the demo because it's not an HVAC guy for whatever reason. He was an opt-in, but he has like a garage door business,
Mhm.
and before I turned him away, I said like I don't do that. I'm doing HVAC. I thought what would Koshik do? And so I set up a demo with him.
Yeah, just for the heck of it. Why
Um,
not? Why not?
yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. All right. So in that case, I don't know who was first, but we can like delve in and just get started then.
I think I
Um,
was first. Pretty sure I was. That's why I was racing home.
okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want that was on my mind. I don't know if this is the right sales call for me to review Muhammad Makibla or was it somebody else?
That's the most recent one that I at the time that I lost. Like that I thought was doing good, and then it didn't close.
Is that the one that you asked me to review? Is this the one? Or was it
Yeah,
different?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It's
good.
it's Muhammad.
Good. Because so what I would say, man, is like maybe today's not the day, but maybe tomorrow. Because I left a lot of comments. Like I'm 15 minutes in, I already wrote you a novel.
Yeah, I was getting notifications, but I'm on the road unfortunately, and I didn't have a chance to read them.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
but yeah, I just wanted to check in, and I know there's not much for me to show you on today's call, but wanted to check in nonetheless.
yeah. So what I would just say, man, is like so why don't you talk to me about the guy that you got here in a few minutes and maybe I can kind of give you some advice from there and then we'll maybe pick this up or I'll send you a Loom video regarding my thoughts after reviewing a little bit of your sales call. We'll kind of figure out what we
Okay. Okay. So this guy opted in. I called him. He's not an HVAC guy. Like you didn't mention that at all. He was going in like just right off the bat about how he's got a brand new garage door business. He just finished, I guess, like some kind of certification for that. And so like he has a kind of an accent. So I get these guys with accents, man. So I had to like ask him, so do you not have an HVAC business? He says no. And I said, okay. Well, and the way I set it up was, I said, well, you opted in for an HVAC business. That's what we do is we get HVAC leads, but it's not much different from getting leads anywhere else. So I went to my spiel about asking him like how long he's been in business. He's brand new. He hasn't had a single customer yet. Like he's brand new, and each entry or each ticket item, obviously there's no average since he has no customers, but it's probably about he would expect about $350 per sale. And then to get him on the Zoom, I was like, well, what if I can say I can get you like 50 jobs, um, 50 jobs in a month, uh, for an ad spend of like $900 a month? Is that something that you could invest if that was like guaranteed? He said, yeah. So then we set up a demo, and that was it. And so my thought was um, to maybe just like shoot from the hip with it. I don't know. I don't know what to do because like obviously I'm not a garage guy. He knows that. So I don't know if I just go like, hey, we can try like the free to fee or I don't know something else.
do.
But I was wondering how you would approach that.
Yeah. So first of all, like just have fun with it. Don't put a lot of weight on your shoulder. I mean, this guy's brand new, you know what I mean? Like he might not even
Yeah,
it's a little bit tough when you got guys that are a little bit brand new. They're a little bit scared to spend money sometimes. Um,
yeah.
I would shoot from the hip. If I were you, you could run through your slides and presentation as it is, and you say, "Hey, John, I'm going to share a presentation with you." Again, this is what I typically share with our HVAC clients. I know you're not in HVAC, but I feel like this is the best way for me to educate you and show you the value and kind of help you decide if this makes sense for you or not. Right? So you have to have something like that in your spiel. And so you have to keep touching base. Like when you go through your slides, like, hey, so what I want to do, I want to show you this guy. His name's John. And when he first started working with us, da 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 da. I bring that up because your case sounds very similar. So you have to keep tying it back to him. And that's that. And now the difference is I would have an actual, I would do the same thing you did for the six figure 6 week sales funnel where you go into ads manager and you actually have something drawn out. So you do want to show him like, okay, here's the exact ad. It would go here, and then this would happen, and this happens. So, you got a few minutes to prepare for that. I would take screenshots, whatever, and then I would put them and have that physically showing, just like the six figure 6 week sales funnel. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Um, Sorry, but my phone, I can't find my speaker button on my phone, so I guess I'm like holding it to my ear so I can hear you.
No, you're good, man.
But I
What
just
else is
got home.
you do you want to hop on your computer and get back here or
Yeah, I'll hop on right now. I'm clicking the link right now.
okay. Cool. You're gonna hop off your phone or else it's gonna echo like crazy. There we go.
Okay, you got me?
I got you.
Cool. I'm paranoid about like people, watching like your phone camera and all that. So I just realized that I've been putting tape on this lens when I'm not using it.
Yeah.
And I just realized that my computer actually has like a slide over it. And I've had it for like a year.
Rodarte, what else is going through your mind, man?
That was it. It's just like this new guy and wondering because I've been seeing a lot of ads for garage door businesses actually.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know, maybe that's has something to do with like him seeing my ad in the first place, but like I said, it was it seemed kind of serendipitous considering like our back and forth with on our private channel there.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
What else is brewing in your head? Because I want to give you some other stuff. I don't know how long we have. I don't want to spend too long, so I want you to be able to prep for your call. What else is brewing in your head aside from that?
well, just what I typed up was just like, okay, so I know like I've definitely need to regroup and either take another stab at the HVAC or maybe see if Rivera's having success.
Have you had a chance to look at any of these comments or no? Not at all.
I haven't looked at any. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're good. I think we can maybe just do a quick breeze through this. So, very beginning of the call, could have built a bit more rapport. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that, strictly wants to get a business. You could have built a little bit more rapport him. Um,
Today.
you didn't go over this the right way in terms of, hey, I got my 34th client. I want to get my 35th one. So you'd be the 35th one. You didn't really highlight all this stuff. You didn't go over like, hey, so my question to you, Mohammed, is this. It's gonna sound it's gonna sound like I'm bashing you. I'm just trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
350, immediately I can tell a lot. You say a lot of things like, when people say, they usually don't know themselves how to articulate the words, and therefore they're saying, hey, you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean? You never want to do that. Sales is all about communicating with your words, and they have to know exactly what you're saying. Um, they have to feel like you're finishing their sentences.
And then of course you're going to decide.
Um,
Things is brand new, right?
you can ignore my comment at 4.3, 4.11. I mean, yeah. Um, I'm thinking about switching slides 2 and 3. I guess it's still possible.
Physically demanding.
Um, so you should have had like the main talking points here from your discovery call. They should have been here.
But if we
448, you're saying things like, hey, so you think HVAC's a good thing, da 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 da. Am I understand that? Da 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 da. You're not even saying like, so you're kind of like reading notes off like a doctor would have read notes off made by a nurse. You're just like, yeah, so the nurse said this, 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 this. Am I understanding that correct? You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. What you want to do is you need tonality, you need fluctuation in your voice. The idea is this. Here's how I kind of explain it. You want to imagine that guy you're talking to is on a deserted island. You're right in front of him. He's already thirsty. Your job is to get him to feel even more thirsty than he is. Oh, it feels like you ever have like a guy talk shit to another guy playing sports, making him feel bad? Like,
Mm,
oh, yeah, you're thirsty now, aren't you? And you're like dropping some water. Ah, you want that, don't you? Like you're really fucking with them.
okay.
Okay? And here's why. Okay? Somebody on a scale of 1 to 10, they might be at a 6 of hunger. You ever get those things? Maybe you're trying to diet or whatever, and then you have like this moment, you're like, fuck, I really want this thing. You're dying, your body's hangry. You want to create that because now they're gonna fucking splurge on the food. So if they're at like a 7, you want to get them to a 10. You want to really fuck with them. Why? Because when you offer the thing that you're offering, your bottle of water, your offer, your service, they're gonna fucking grab it the fuck up. They're gonna listen to you with everything that they have. So this
Mhm.
whole part here is dedicated to that. This whole part is dedicated to like making him more thirsty. You're getting him emotional, and then when you get to that next slide, you're like, okay, all right, man. Things are tough. I got something for you. I know that this can help. I just need a few things from you. Okay, here's how we're gonna play the game. He's gonna be like, yeah, yeah, Robert, Roger, whatever the fuck you need, man. Whatever the fuck you need. So this is a big thing I saw here. Um, And he's a talker. Like this guy's a talker, and you weren't letting him talk. Like he was trying to talk. He was trying to talk and vent you and be in pain. And you just like cut him off and you just keep going. You're so focused on your song and dance, your presentation, as opposed to feeling him out, getting him to talk, getting him to say I'm in pain, getting him. You're not listening. You're not getting him to, you're not creating that pain, you're not getting him to talk, you're not doing those things. You're just so focused on like your presentation, the slide. Which by the way, I give you kudos to that. You did a good job there. You're
A good job on what?
so you were so fast to rush to the actual presentation of like, oh, this guy John, we met him a year ago, da 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 da. You're probably thinking in your mind, I'm getting better at that song and dance, and now it's hitting me where you're like, oh, people are telling me I'm doing a good job. You're probably so fixated on that, and maybe getting good at that song and dance and being that guy that's at a circus performing and like having every like. But the thing is that matters after this. This is so much more important. This right here.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So I'm gonna explain to or show you rather.
yeah. So you're here,
Okay.
501.
So I'm gonna explain to or show you.
So you didn't, by the way, you didn't do the request thing. So you go from like creating this desire of this thirst, this hunger, and then he's like, yeah, all this stuff, and you're like, all right, man, I think I can help you. That's gonna be this slide
Okay.
right here. Now, before I continue, this whole process takes, a little bit of time. I'm gonna go through this and this and this and this and this and this. Now, again, this takes quite a bit of time. I want to be respectful of your time and my time. So if it's okay with you, I'd love to ask you some pre-qualifying questions just to make sure that it actually makes sense. And if it does, great, we'll continue the conversation. If not, I'll tell you, I'll be very clear with you. So what you're doing is you're getting him to earn your pitch. He's already fucking thirsty as fuck. He's already hungry. He's like, bro, help me. And you're like, all right, man, I can help you, but you gotta play ball. Now he's gonna be like, fuck yeah, just tell me what I need to do. Then you ask him the qualifying question. Hey, how much are you making? And this, all these things that you need to ask to ensure that he can close a deal. So you're getting rid of the financial objection. You're getting rid of the partner spouse objection. You're getting rid of all these objections. Hey, do you have access to $1,500 liquid right now that we can use for ads? All these things. That comes here. Then you go into the whole presentation.
Yeah. I guess I thought that was on the Discovery, or that's what I've been doing on the Discovery.
You do go over that stuff on the discovery, but you need to go over it multiple times. You need to ask those questions on discovery. Then you need to ask them here because people fucking change their mind. They'll tell you on the discovery call, hey, I can afford 900 bucks. You get to the end of the sales call, oh, dude, 900 bucks too much. There's a rhyme and reason I do it 3 or 4 times.
Got it.
So
With HVAC noise,
So you're doing good in terms of your energy and all that. Like you're doing fantastic, but you screwed up on the things I've shared so far, which is why it's not. So what I'm saying here is like, people get to the end of the sales call and like, hey, Coach Sheik, what can I say here? I'm like, no, motherfucker, you already fucked up within the first 10 seconds. I can't save you here. It's like, it's like lighting yourself up on fire without putting like hazard prevention shit. You put on hazard prevention shit within the first second so that when you light yourself up, you don't fucking die. You forgot to put that shit on your body. Now you're gonna fucking die no matter what.
got it.
And that's all that stuff up here. That's emotional stuff and pre-qualifying. That all was missed. And so, yeah, you're doing a good job in terms of clicker and doing this whole presentation, but it's not hitting him. And you got to read the face for Arte. You got to read the face. You can read his face. His face is like looking off and smoking, and he's not emotionally bought in. Again, imagine you got him so desperate, so hungry, so thirsty, and you're like, All right, man, I'll tell you what, I got something for you. You gotta play ball though. Whatever you need, Rodarte. Okay. All right, so here's my presentation that you earned. You earned it. Okay, let me pay attention. He's gonna be paying attention so much. Other thing is when you're doing this whole presentation, the other thing I saw is you're not making it about him. You gotta make the whole thing about him. So for example, one thing you're talking about is like, again, I know these kinds of people. Maybe it's a culture thing for you, but he's like, oh, they're going on dates. These motherfuckers don't go on dates. These are Middle Easterns. They don't do that. You gotta understand who you're talking to. You gotta like be like, hey, so these guys are going on dates. And then you joke about it. It's like, I know that might not be a thing for you. And maybe this is about doing a bit of research. What does he do for the fun with his kids? Now, I know this doesn't apply to you. This is something very important to them, but you're going to be able to spend more time going to halakas with your family, which are like get-togethers with family where they pray and stuff. Make it tied to him. You got to tie it to him. You're not saying anything to tie to him, and he's just like, I don't know. Like you can see it. He's like, he look at him, look at him, dude. He's not vested. What the fuck? You got to pay it. You're just fucking talking, bro.
He had his camera on, which is better than a lot of them. Just I hate when it's just no fucking camera, dude.
And so that I should yell at you more. You actually have the camera to read his body language. When I see that, you got to call it out. You're like, hey, did you pay? Did you get like there's a part where you're like going over the machine. This okay, so I'll just keep going.
Really working still. This is him.
So again, reading his body language, he's zoned out. Okay, Kushik, what do I do? Well, there's nothing you can do. What you can do now, like so you because you didn't emotionally tie him in, you can touch base with him and tie fictitious story to him. Like, hey, this guy relates to you. You got to keep relating your story to him. Make it up, but it's got to tie to him. And that's you paying attention during the discovery. That's you paying attention during the very beginning part of this call to understand him, understand the pressure points. This part right here, again, you're like going over your machine. Bro, your shit's so important and you can't even see what the fuck he's doing. And you're just talking. If it were me, I'd be like, hey, Mom, are you okay? What's going on? Like you're going over, hey, this is how I'm gonna like remove the cancer tumor from your brain. Like, do you want to hear that, by the way? It's probably important. Muhammad, you there? You want here? I should probably show you where I'm gonna be cutting into your brain, bro. That's this. You got to make sure he's paying attention, man. The other things are like, hey, you don't say like, hey, this could say this offer, this could say, no, never. No, you say the offer is the offer. You don't have him think that. That's like, again, a surgeon going, we might put you under, we might not put you under. It depends on how we feel. No. You have the exact thing. It's like, hey, we're running this exact offer. This color scheme works. This is what calls out attention. This is what's going to get people to click. You don't say, you don't guess.
Okay, so I have a question on that because I've gotten two different answers. One, when I first started doing this with this slideshow, I would say like, what I would ask them what you want to be selling. Like what is it you want to advertise? And then you said you don't tell them that. You show them this is the ad. This is what we're doing.
You
Okay,
asked
so
on the discovery call to figure out what they really want to sell. And that was like a month ago, 2 months ago, before
Right.
you figure out what these HVAC business owners want. And then you
Right.
say one, you say, okay, for HVAC business owners, I'm going to do HVAC replacements or whatever the fuck it is. And then your entire presentation becomes about that.
I think you cut out, or I didn't hear you. So you're saying, well, what I was saying was that I got the answer of like, no, you tell them this is the offer, and then I was doing, hey, this is the offer, and then again you said later on saying, ask them what they want to advertise. So I was like, oh, like I was doing.
So
So
so I'll say it one more time. Let's like, for example, it's really simple for Cam because we know it's duct cleaning. There's like nothing else there's nothing else for them to offer. When it comes to medical spas, the way Aman has set up his ads is like, we're going to get you 90 hydrofacials in 90 days. So the only people that are click on it on hydrofacials. And then he's going to confirm on the discovery call it's hydrofacials. So your ads don't necessarily say anything. It says 100 leads converted to 20 customers. So if you want to be more specific, you can be, hey, 20 customers for this service. You can do that in your marketing.
okay, got it.
Other thing is, but here, I'm not necessarily saying change that. What I'm saying is about a month or 2 months ago, you should be doing your market research on the discovery calls. You're asking, hey, what do you want to sell? What do you want to sell? And if out of like 30 people you're talking to, 20 people say they all want to sell this one thing, then you know that that's what's hot in demand in that industry. So you make your entire sales presentation about selling that thing. So
Got it.
for HVAC, there's, I don't know, I'm just gonna make some shit up. There's cleaning ducts, there's repairing ACs. Let's just say over and over they say, I want to repair AC, I want to repair ACs. Your entire messaging should be around repairing ACs, and this ad should be regarding that. And again, what I'm trying to get across to you is you said something along the lines of, what's that? What this ad? It can be don't replace your HVAC, or it could be this. Those are the specific words. You don't say it. You say this is the exact ad. This is the exact thing, and it's scientifically proven after $3,700 that was spent a day. I don't like, you just make it so it's so concrete that they can't, like, this is what works. For the 6 Fair and 60 sales funnel, it is this great background with this text is what works. I don't want you to do anything else. Same thing applies here.
Got it.
And close them. So what we do is we set them up, you knock them down. And not only are you gonna knock them down, we're gonna help you knock them down.
So on the right hand, you target the ideal avatar. We spend money at home. I'm giving you an example of how I would have said it, and you can come back to this and just kind of listen to how I would have said it. And I think it was just kind of all over the place. You're lucky in the fact that he is intelligent enough that he understands how ads and leads works. But I feel like the average person would have been confused. So again, I'm just kind of giving you some suggestion of like what you could say during this slide here.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely leave out like ads drying up. You're in a place with your communication, Arte, where like you cannot add any type of anything that would scare them.
Can I tell you why I added that or left that in there is because I've been getting a lot of people who have used services in the past and have gotten nothing. And so I use that as like they're probably, one of the things is like they're probably lazy and just like leaving the same ad. So it starts off good and then it dries on the vine and dies. And then so that's why we keep these fresh.
Mhm.
And
I got that from listening to you. I just feel like you need to get better at communicating before you try to do anything fancy like that. Like you need to do the basics better. Like this is an advanced technique, and this isn't what you're doing is advanced, which is like, oh, I'm gonna introduce something to scare them a little bit, but I'm gonna show them I got their back. That's advanced. For you, that's advanced, respectfully. You need to just get really good at the basics before you introduce any of those kinds of tactics. If you want to do it, that's fine. It has to be better though. Straight up, it has to be better. The communication just has to be better.
got it.
Between you and whoever else.
This is the part you did really good. 1257.
Like I said, there's no shopping these leads around for between you and whoever else. Like I said, these are 100% yours. I know I gave you a lot, Mohammed, so it is yours. For these are 100% your leads. Do we share these? Like you're going to be advertised for anybody else? It's not a generic, HVAC. Your concern over the phone was.
Your concern over the phone was this.
Do we share these leads? We do not. These are 100% your leads. There's no shopping these leads around for between you and whoever else. Like I said, these are 100% yours.
This is the first time you did this in 13 minutes, where you made it about him. That's what I meant the whole time. Whatever your presentation is, you have to keep tying it back to what he said, what's important to him. Does that make sense? Is that clicking for you now?
Yeah.
It's almost like having a nice argument with the girlfriend. In a way, it's like, well, you want this, then you have to talk about it. You want this because this, okay, I will do that. It's like listening to very specifically what they're saying and then just making it easier for them.
Yeah, it's like gaslighting, but you're not gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the key, is like before you weren't doing that. Like this whole presentation, you're just talking very generic, very general. You got to say, hey, remember this one thing that you said? I know that this was you did such a fucking fantastic job. That was super advanced by saying, hey, you said this and you shop around for leads. We don't do that. These are 100% yours. So I just want to make sure you're clear on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the leads that you talk to, John, the leads that you talk to Mohammed, no other HVAC owner has talked to them. You're going to be the first person. Does that make sense? So you're not going to have to deal it. Boom. That's like next level. You're really squeezing the juice out of that. Make sense? So that was good that you did.
Questions on that? To be honest with you, I had the question, but
So this is again another thing where he's asked you like, hey, so what percent of the leads turn into customers? And what I'm saying here, man, is like this is another one of those things where
do two things. The heading, click on it, how it works. Click on it, how the front end works, right? We'll come back to that.
Wait.
Okay. Well, okay, we'll come back to that. Any other questions on that?
look at his face, Rodarte. What is he doing? Does this look like the face of somebody who's had their question answered, or they're still thinking?
To be honest with you,
He's like thinking he's out to the right. So again, I left some commentary. Your job is like, what do we say in sales? Sales is a well choreographed dance of objection preventing. We kill the objection before they occur. So by the time that you get to the sales call, there's nothing to say, but yes, I want to move forward. You've checkmated them. So what he's doing right now, as he's looking out, he literally has an objection. Your job is to squash that objection. Your job is to kill the cancer before it becomes a big bad thing. He's thinking, he's like literally forming an objection right now in his head. What I would say is like, hey, mom, it looks like you're thinking. But instead, listen to what you said.
Had the poster behind people fly away. Okay, well,
Let's proceed.
okay, we'll come back to that. So this is how the system works. This is how.
See what you did? He's like, yeah, there's something I'm slipping my mind. And you're like, okay, we'll come back to that. That's analogous to saying, hey, man, you got this cancer brewing. I'll tell you what, man, we'll come back in 4 years if it's, if we need chemo, we'll do chemo then. We'll do what we need to do then. No, you squash it right then and there, man, before you move on. You got to pay attention to people's faces, man. Pay attention to his body language. Pay attention to his face.
So let me ask you that then. What would you do if someone just doesn't have their camera on there? They don't want it on.
That's a tough one. I don't have necessarily the right answer for you. You get so advanced you can hear the tonality in somebody's voice. I've had, what's his name? Jeremy, when he closed Alpida. Here's what I'll tell you. If somebody's serious, they're gonna turn their fucking camera on. Alpida, when he was talking to Alpida, she didn't have her camera on, she didn't have anything, and then about midway through, he got her so good that she actually ended up turning her camera back, turn her camera on. He didn't even have to ask her. So in my experience, if somebody is serious, if you're doing a good job, they are going to want to turn their camera on. You can also do something, Rodarte, on your call where you're like, hey, just so you like on your discovery calls. If I don't know how often this happens to you, it sounds like it happens quite a bit. If it does happen,
It's happened like probably like probably like 6 times, maybe 7.
How many sales calls have you had total?
Probably 20.
Yeah, so 6 out of 20 is that, that's not a low number, but it's also not a substantially high number. So you just do a small little thing on your discovery call. You just pre-frame that. Say, hey,
Yeah, but so what I'll say now, and it's happened once since doing the reframe, is like, hey, we'll meet on Zoom, face to face, and so you can see, I can show you on a screen exactly, and then when they're on the call, I was just like, hey, are you camera shy, or like, with a smile, like say that through a smile. But actually, the one guy that he had like low.
So pause really quick before you move on. Here's what I say. If I ever the call starts like, hey John, I can hear you, I can't see you though. That's it. That's all you gotta say. And they'll turn the camera on. They're like, oh fuck. They feel like you're not being an asshole, and you're pretty much saying like, hey, my expectation is that you turn your camera on, and then they just turn the camera. If however you say, hey, are you camera shy? You're kind of then they can rebuttal and be like, oh, I'm not ready. I don't feel like they can say some bullshit. So instead, just say, hey, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay.
Anyways, keep going.
Well, just say like the last guy that did that, it was 2 partners actually on the phone, but they had like low. They had to take the call on their cell phone because their Wi-Fi was down, and they didn't whatever it was choppy with the camera, so they just turned it off.
Yeah, that's okay. But what I'm trying to get at, man, is like there's multiple parts of sales. Like part of it is the game. So part of it is like reading the body language, hearing their voice, the word that they're saying, and really understanding what is the meaning beneath that. Okay. That's one part of the skill set. The other part of the skill set is like your presentation, how you're doing this and that. And that you're getting much better at, right? You're doing much better at that. Like, and that's probably what you mean. Like, oh, because I feel more confident. I feel like I'm getting it. People are telling me I'm doing a good job. You're doing that. That's the second part of it. The third part of it is the game of chess, which is I strategically say A because I know they're going to say B. And then from there, I'm going to say C. And then they're going to do D. And then they're going to be in checkmate.
Right.
And so right now, the thing I saw from you from day one, man, is like that first part of like reading body language, really listening to people and like extracting stuff and just being patient and really listening. And so I'm seeing that throughout the whole conversation. And I don't know.
Well, honestly, I thought it was because this is a later call. I mean, this is and this is my thought was what time was it? He's East Coast, so it was like 3 hours ahead of me, which was I want to say like past 9.
Yeah.
And he had just gone off work, and he was, I don't know. I just chalked it up to being like, a working man, just tired from work, kind of a thing.
I, I'm telling you, man, it's not a thing of like me making. I'm telling you, after doing a lot of sales calls, reviewing it, seeing you do it, there are things you're missing, man, in terms of reading him and getting him emotional and stuff like that. There's stuff that you're missing here. Um, so I guess like what are your thoughts when you hear this? And again, this is me getting about 15 minutes way through. I got about to the 15-minute mark. I spent like an hour and a half going through this. I didn't get a chance to watch this part. But I guess like just what's brewing your head, man? And when do you gotta go? You gotta go here in 30 minutes or
My call's in 30 minutes, yeah. But I don't even know if if he'll be no show or not because I'm not confident he'll show up.
did you text him to see?
Yeah, I just texted him now. But the thing is, like, I was on the road. I couldn't send him I couldn't book him, so he didn't do like the notifications. I just said, yeah, I'll send you a link, and I did.
Okay.
But anyway, no, yeah, a lot to think about for sure, and definitely eye opening, and like I don't know, things that I thought I was fine, or at the worst was like okay. I'm like, okay, yeah, I see I could do better than that, or tying it back to I thought I did a good job tying it back to him, but yeah, like it was just that one time, and I could definitely do a better job at that.
Mason, do you have thoughts? I feel like when I do these, I'm like just like I just I just like spew out like, yo, what the fuck? Versus Mason, you might have another way of helping. Maybe you're seeing some things I'm not seeing, or have a different way of talking to Rodarte to help him.
I mean, sales is very difficult, but you have like what's really helped me is looking at it in a way of like when I first started sales, I was very nervous and I felt pressured that if I didn't get the sale, it wasn't like the right thing or I wasn't doing the right thing. But the way that I kind of restructured my success in sales was kind of really making the goal more less like did I close the deal or did I not close the deal, and more of was I able to accurately describe his exact problems back to him and kind of put the puzzle pieces of the program that I'm showing him fitting his exact needs. That's the way that I kind of look at it, and making sure that every step of the way we make sure that he's on board as well, because when you're nervous, you kind of like to just run through things a lot. And it's really important to hit every kind of key point that you're looking for, because if you don't, at the end, you are missing something, and that's really where the objection can come from. And it's like if you don't, you know, get that fish while it's there, then it's just going to swim away, and it's going to be really hard to catch at the end, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because like okay, so I feel when you said that I thought back to how I feel during these demos, and the first like social proof section, I definitely feel like I just need to get through this. And I probably maybe even rushed. And I don't know if it's because it's bullshit, it's bullshit, or so I don't have the confidence, but I'm just like trying to just like skim over it, like I don't know, and then be like get to like the system.
Yeah, that's like if you start, because that's I think one of the first things you do, right? And that energy and that kind of flow of the way that you go about things kind of can translate into the rest of the call too. See what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
if this is how I'm setting the tone at the beginning of the call, this is kind of how I'm going to continue it out, versus having a positive line going up and to the right, versus all these like up and downs of like, oh, I hate this section of my call. Oh, I like this section of my call. I hate this section of my call. I really like this section of my call. So it could almost be like, yeah, the testimonials are important, but do you throw those in at the end? That could also work too. Restructuring it for yourself to get yourself feeling the most confident. And then once you see their eyes a little bit more bought in, then you can have the confidence to be like, well, look at one of our clients here. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like now I'm actually seeing the things that you made me feel put into play so that when you do ask for the sale, it's much more likely than they say yes versus you being like, hey, here's this person, they did a great job, and then here's the system. So maybe think along the lines of that as well.
Interesting. Okay.
No, I understand. I understand completely. Is it all right if I just go ahead and hop in, or do you have any questions? Go ahead. We'll ask
Yeah,
after.
I would not have this guy be smoking cigarettes on the call too.
I'll keep checking in with you to see if you have any questions. Yeah. Okay.
What do I tell him? Like, hey,
Share this.
put that out.
So kind of hear this part through. Is this too fast for you guys? Can you guys hear it? Do you guys understand or no?
Play it again.
Okay, can you see my screen? It's still loading. Yes. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna run this slideshow here, and I'm just gonna show you what the purpose of the call is, just to kind of tell you what we're going for. Is that we'd like to find 5% of our clients, 5% of people we talk to. So this number is currently accurate. So if you were to work with us, you'd be number 34 out of 652, which is about 5.2%, and that's of people of the year that we talked to. So today I'm gonna, we qualified each other. That's why we're here. I qualified you, qualified me. I'm gonna explain our system, and I'm gonna make you an offer, and then of course you're gonna decide. Okay. So let me go ahead and continue with the top what we talked about yesterday, and that was basically you were saying how your HVAC.
Mason, do you have thoughts on that?
It just seems like you're very unconfident there too. In my opinion, like just the way that you're talking seems very unconfident. Like we might do this today, we might do that today. You can kind of like you have to take more control.
Did I say might? I didn't hear.
You might have not said might, but that's what it sounds like. Like you don't sound like you're going to guide them through the process.
So I would have done a little bit more rapport building with him.
Is that right? Okay, yeah. Okay, great. So I'm in Southern California. We also got a little bit of daylight here. Yeah, we really nighttime now. Yeah.
Read his face. He's smiling. He's laughing. It's nighttime here now. He's a friendly guy.
Yes. So I appreciate you logging on so late. No problem. Thank you for pushing back. I was really stuck on a job and I couldn't really.
I'm stuck on a job. I couldn't move. He's talking. He doesn't fucking have to say shit. He's telling you that he's trying to be your friend.
He'd be on time. No, I understand. I understand completely.
So as well, like, hey, are we still good to talk for the next 45 minutes? No interruptions. You don't have to run off to a job site or anything. Like you're in a quiet location, you can sit down, you can talk more one-on-one because there's some stuff that's really important that you might want to be able to see on the screen.
So what would you tell him? Coach, you said you wouldn't have him smoke a cigarette. Like what am I supposed to do?
Don't worry about that. Yeah, we don't want people to smoke cigarettes. But
Muhammad, come on, can you put that out?
No, I wouldn't. No, that's not the point.
I was just coughing.
All right, everybody, go ahead and hop in. Or do you have any questions? Go ahead. We'll ask after that. Okay, I'll keep checking in with you to see if you have any questions. Yeah, sure.
I should have brought out my bong. Just take a rip, dude.
So what you're doing is you've just like hopped super in, and you haven't really built any kind of rapport, anything.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is like he's trying to be your friend. Read it. Like there's different people. Some people are like, hey, let's get right to it, and you fucking get right to it. Some people just read. He's talking. He's a little bit of a talker. Be nice to him. Like,
so I guess like in hindsight, this was pushed back, I think several times. And I almost wrote him off as like a no-show, but here he is. And I think I probably just wanted to respect his time, man. Knowing it was like 3 hours ahead. But yeah,
read
like
the face. Read the face. Fuck the time. Read the face. Read the face.
So go ahead and share this. Okay, can you see my screen? It's still loading. Yes. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna run this slideshow here, and I'm just gonna show you what like.
I'm gonna kind of do this. I'm gonna kind of do that. I think that's what Mason was talking about. I'm gonna kind of.
Purpose of the call is just to kind of tell you what we're going. We'd like to find 5% of our clients. 5%.
5%. So here's how I would have done it. Okay, you switch over. Hey, Mohammed, can you see my screen? Awesome, perfect. Okay, so basically, and then I'll highlight it. It's like, okay, and so this doesn't even make sense. First of all, the very first thing you said to him doesn't make sense. We like to work with 5%. You're 34 out of what makes no sense. I would have said, hey, Mohammed. So basically, what we like to do is we like to work so far, we have 34 people that we work with HVAC business owners. We're really looking for a 35th person. Now, in terms of the overall process for this call, basically, first, you're going to qualify me. Then I qualify you. Then I explain our system, how it works. Then I may make you an offer. And from there, you decide. The ball will be in your court. So, essentially, my question to you before we get started is, are you interested in proceeding with the outline process to discover if it makes more sense for us to work together or not? Very calmly, he says, yeah. Cool. All right, Mohammed. So, and then I'll get into. So, Mohammed, the first thing I want to do is I want to just really quickly recap our conversation. In fact, not even just recap, and I would have all these points here. So, what I want to do is, the last time we spoke, you said blah 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 blah. I sat there and I really thought about that, and I was wondering like why this in particular and why this particular date? I guess like what happens if this doesn't happen? That's how why like just think about why am I doing that? He brought this up. That's important to him. I bring it up and I create some kind of consequence of him not doing it. Well, Koshik, here's what would happen. Here's the fucking shit that would happen. I'm creating that thirst. I'm creating that thirst. I'm creating that pain. So let's go back.
You'd be number 34 out of 652, which is about 5.2%, and that's of people of the year.
Guys, are you guys like getting value from this? Is this helping? Yeah, okay. Roberto's like, no.
That we talked to. So today I'm gonna, we qualified each other. That's why we're here. I qualified you, you qualified me. I'm gonna explain our system, and I'm gonna make you an offer, and then of course you're gonna decide. Okay. So,
And so also like this slide, yeah.
and I'm gonna make you. Let me, of course you're gonna decide. Okay. So let me go ahead and continue with the top. What we talked about.
So this is the part again. Listen, guys, this is where Rodarte is kind of talking like a doctor reviewing a nurse's notes.
Yesterday, and that was basically you're saying how your HVAC side of things is brand new, right? You're in the construction business, but you in this phase of life, you want to do things that are less physically demanding. And you think HVAC is a great avenue. You're just now licensed. Yes. And you want leads. You want to get this going right away. And I can definitely help you with that. To be honest with you, I'm already working.
Now he's trying to talk. He's trying to like say more shit to you. He's like, I'm already working.
Yes.
HVAC is in high demand all over the country.
Okay.
I'm already working, but if we can get like more work, always, why not?
Okay. I understand. So, any questions before I get started?
There's no emotional building from there, right? That's where we create that thing of like, so you're just like reading off. So you want to start this thing, you want to get more leads. And then he starts talking. So your job is to kind of get him to talk a little bit more, create again a little bit more pain before you get into this whole thing.
No. Okay. So I'm going to explain to you or show you rather my success stories, right? So I'm going to show you this story here. This is
So again, this is the part where you flip through all these slides and you say, hey, so this is quite a bit that we have to get through. As you can see, I'm going to do this, 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 this. Now, before I continue, I just want to ask you, I just have a very quick request from you just to make sure that we're respecting each other's time. Is it okay? Would you be okay if I ask you a few questions just to qualify and make sure that this even makes sense for you and I? And if it does, great, we'll continue the conversation. If not, well, that'll be very clear and that'll just save you and I a bunch of time. Does that make sense? It says, yeah, that's fair. And then from there, you go into your qualification questions before you come into this whole song and dance.
So make a living and enjoy life. But he's yes.
HVAC is in high demand all over the like more.
So any questions before I get started?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to explain to or show you rather my success stories, right? So I'm going to show you this story here. This is Spencer. So we with the HVAC owners, typical the average I guess you'd say is in a little 12 weeks we're able to collect an additional $30,000 monthly for them within 12 weeks on average. This here is Spencer. He's out of Wisconsin. We met Spencer last year. He was stuck in what we call the HVAC.
So imagine, I don't know, like imagine he tells you he's in a tremendous amount of pain and there's a reason why he started this business versus the other business. He has like this core reason. Now you can tie that into Spencer at the very, very beginning. It's like, okay, so the story I want to tell you is about Spencer. And the funny thing about Spencer is similarity. And so now what is he doing? He's emotionally bonded. He's like, oh, fuck, the Spencer guy's just like me. And then I'll get into the crazy thing is he was able to do this. And that's not even the cool part. And then you continue the story. Again, you got to tie it in. You just went right into it. Does that make sense? That's what I would do a little bit different. Find that one thing to connect with. Again, you talk to a girl, you got to find one thing to connect on. You're find that thing to connect on, and then you're going to get right into the story. And throughout this whole story, you keep connecting, keep connecting, keep connecting.
This is typical. The average, I guess you'd say, is in a little 12 weeks. We're able to collect an additional $30,000 monthly for them within 12 weeks on average. This here is Spencer. He's out of Wisconsin. We met Spencer last year. He was stuck in what we call the HVAC rat race. He's competing for leads, much like you. He's paying, Angie's List, Thumbtack, Yelp.
So this Muhammad guy, did he do any HVAC or did he just like open it up brand new or what was the situation?
This is a while ago now, but from what I remember, he is new on the HVAC, but he's getting jobs. And Yeah, but he just wanted it to, get more leads and stop doing, because I think he's doing general construction. He wanted to stop doing that and go into HVAC because it was physically less demanding. And he's getting older and
And
yeah,
so
he just wanted to,
how was he getting leads?
I don't have my notes in front of me, but I want to say probably just word of mouth. Um, I think just word of mouth. Max.
Okay. So the thing is, he asked you whether the leads, I think, are being shared. Yeah, he shared that with you on Discovery Call because you brought that up on the sales call. So right here, you could have tied that in. So you did a good job later on, but this is the part. It's like, so you come into this line. Let's see what you said.
Much like you, he's paying all the HVAC rep rates. He's competing for leads. Much like you, he's paying Angie's List, Thumbtack, Yelp. He's paying for these leads that aren't going anywhere. They're what we call tire kickers. People are just shopping around. Just wasting your time, wasting your money, wasting your energy. People who have.
So you did a good job there. You did a really good job there. And I'm gonna sound like I'm being very critical here. I didn't even fucking get it. The reason I didn't get it because you just fucking ran through those words. Just like you, he's doing this, this, this. So what he's doing, he's competing for leads and paying an arm or leg for these tire kickers. So again, you got like 5, 10 different HVAC business owners that are getting the exact same lead, having the exact same conversation, the exact same person. And so he was never able to convert or close them because they were always moving forward with somebody else. So chances are you're probably, is that, Mohammed, you told me that that was one of the things that you were dealing with as well, right? Yeah. So he was doing the same thing as you, man.
No intention on hiring you for your services. But these are leads that.
And then you continue the story. See how like I'm spending a little bit more time again trying making it about him versus like you just went like it's not enough time. I don't even know if he caught that himself if you look at his face. Is that making sense?
I guess. I mean, yeah, what you're saying makes sense, yes, but we are at 2 speed. So I mean, it is half the speed there.
It's more words though, right? You said one thing. You
Yeah.
said like you, duh. Versus what I'm saying is like fucking 2, 3 full on sentences tying it to him, not just one word. Yeah.
Less that he's paying for. And they're not cheap at all. So he's still stuck working nights and weekends, trying to grow his business. He barely had time for family and friends. And he actually tried advertising and SEO, and even he hired 3 different advertising agencies, marketing agencies before he found me. So none of it really worked. He every month he's crossing his fingers hoping that he makes enough money to pay the workers he has, to pay the overhead, and also make a living and enjoy life. But he's none of it really works. He's still, this is him under a crawl space here. He's still hostage to the HVAC. So fast forward to now. This is Spencer now, and since he's been with us, he's been able to business obviously is booming now. He was able to purchase a new truck, and he's able to have date nights with his wife, which him and his wife are very, very happy about because they haven't had date night in a very, very long time. And this is some more screenshots of our conversation here. And he not only date nights, he's able to take weekends off and be able to plan trips, with his wife. And the biggest takeaway that he
Right, like that's such an important thing of like what's the American dream. Why do people do what we do? So you want to tie that to him, right? Like you got to figure that out also. You got to figure that out on a little bit on the discovery, on the sales. Try to figure that out. Tie it to like something that they like. Make him feel emotional about the payoff.
had, it's nice to hear the ROI. It's nice to hear the $30,000 extra. That definitely went on his own business. He owned the business, and he hired a 3D technician, and he's now a $1 million business. And I know you're like, hey, that's Spencer, but does it work for everybody else? And I was kind of run through these. This is Matthew. He did over 50 on his investment, return on investment with us within 2 months. Chris Griffin, this guy is actually in person. Shake his hand. He did just under $43,000 with us in 60 days. And then Dustin Hathcock.
Like you're doing a really good job with the fluctuations and the presenting. Like you're doing a great job. It's just tying it to him. I know I sound like a broken record, but you're doing like that whole energy. Everything is perfect. It's perfect.
Here, he's in Florida, and he did $30,000 with us in 30 days. And then Lance Strother, this is what you might find interesting. Lance Strother is.
I like that little touch you put in. This is something you might find interesting. You just got to keep doing that, Rodarto. You keep doing that. Keep them tied in. Make it about them. That's the big thing.
Is in Ohio, and he started a brand new business. And within the first year of his business, he did $55,000 for the whole year. And within 2 months of us being with him, he hit $35,000.
So I don't know. Maybe you can get a little bit creative with that and tie that a little bit more. It's like I know you're just starting this thing, and here's a guy who just like you is just starting. He hit 55 in his doing it by himself entire year, and with us we got him there 35,000, literally half of that within the first month, and I think he's on pace to hang about 200,000. And so again, there's a little bit of an opportunity cost there. I don't know if I would say that because that's some very salesy, But hopefully you understand what I'm trying to get at. Again, make it about him, use more words. But I like what you did there. I like what you did there saying, hey, I think you might find this interesting.
So he was very, very excited that he found this. And Mohammed, I can go on and on and on and on about all these guys who are happy with the decision they make, but I know that you really do not care. I'm sure you don't care. You just want to know what is the system, right? Like, let's get down to it. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we call the Easy Customers On Demand system. And what we do here is we blast out these ads, right, on social media. This would be like your business. These are special offer ads. These are client education ads, high quality client ads, local HVAC expert ads that we blast in your service area. So I should have done this ahead of time, but you said Brooklyn, New York. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and blast those ads all over your service area, wherever you service, and then we don't show them where places you don't go. So we're saving money by not wasting money on number one, geographic. We're not going to waste money sending these ads to places where you're not going to go. And number two, these ads are only seen by qualified people. So we're not going to send them to people who rent, because people who rent are going to call you for their HVAC needs. They're going to call their landlord. So we only advertise to homeowners, and we only advertise to people who are, we're not going to waste money sending ads to teenagers. People who are 17, 18, 19, because people who owns a home that young nowadays, right? So we're not going to do that. And like I said, so 1 in 4 qualified clients, qualified leads will see this ad here. That are in your service area. 1 in 4 people see it, and this will be your branding. They go ahead and see.
But what did you mean by 1 in 4 qualified people are going to see your ad?
I heard you say that. One of the calls I saw.
So all qualified people see the ad, and 1 of 4 people that qualify end up selling or buying their service is what you should have said.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying, like, we only show it to these people, but we only show it to 25% of them, is what you just said.
Yeah, so it was like,
Oh, I see. Yeah,
out of the people that click on the ad, 1 in 4 will be qualified.
I think that's what I meant. Yeah, I see where I fucked up.
So, but that shit matters, man. That shit matters a lot.
See that they opt in. This is an offer. It could be hey, don't replace your furnace, or it could say, hey, buy a new furnace.
Don't do that, right? So I want you to change your languaging. So now here's the exact ad that we run for you. It's this color schematic, and it's this and this. I know it looks like a pretty ugly ad, but we've tested over 100 ads, and this is the one that performs, and it's with the keyword "don't replace your furnace." You got to sell them on this is like crazy years, and a bunch of thousands of dollars went to R&D to figure this shit out. That's how he's got to feel.
Or you can say, hey, we're what do you call it, a maintenance agreement plan. Whatever it is that you want to advertise is what this ad will be, and people will go ahead and click in it. They'll go through a funnel.
And I was saying this because this is what you told what I took away from you telling me to start doing, was asking them what it is they want to advertise.
Yeah.
What service?
You understand what you need to do now, though? That's my question.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the exact ad. Now what's going to happen is when people see this ad, they're going to go and click on here. When they click on here, something's going to pop up to their name, their email, their phone number. Once they do that, what's going to happen is we have an automation sent out so that you're going to be texted the lead's information. You got a new lead, name, email, phone number. Does that make sense, Mohammed? Yeah? Okay. So in the next slide, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down even granular detail. All right? Stuff like that.
Which I'll explain after this. And once they become a lead, this is their phone here. They're seeing your ad on their phone. And then once they become a lead, this is your phone. You get the text messages right away. So once they hop in, you're getting a text message. And then you just hop on the lead right away, and you go ahead and close them. So what we do is we set them up, you knock them down. And not only are you going to knock them down, we're going to help you knock them down. And I'm going to go ahead and explain later on how we're going to help you do that. So in addition to all these ads, what we do is we keep these campaigns fresh. So the algorithm,
Also, Rodarte, did that guy message you?
He hasn't messaged me now. But I'm like on Zoom, so I think it'll just tell me that he's logged in. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, if you're on the Zoom, I don't know if have that open up, the Zoom call with him. If you do, it'll tell you, or you'll get an email about it.
Well, it's saying I gotta leave and start if I want to go hop on that one. I thought it would just show like, hey, he's logged in.
You'll get an email. If you keep an eye out on your email will tell you somebody just hopped in your room.
Okay.
Yeah.
After 30 to 40 days, that's about the average, these ads will dry up and they'll stop producing. And typically, other ad agencies just kind of give you one ad and that's it. And then you kind of get results right away, and then kind of comes down. You start, and then it starts to taper off a little bit.
But I know you got to probably like prep for that, so I can put a pause on this actually. But yeah, man. Mason, in like 2 minutes, is there anything else that you picked? Because the first time I asked you, like, you didn't actually listen to this or see this that I have. Like, is there anything new that comes to mind? Any other advice that you can give Rodarte before we let him go really quick, if he doesn't end up coming back?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think just being just having more conviction in your voice. That's all.
Yeah.
Other than everything he said, obviously. Like mix those two things together.
Okay. So, Rodarte, we'll go and let you leave if you have to get going, and then if you want to come back, we can keep doing this, keep running through this if you want.
Okay.
Okay. So,
All right, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah.
go. So MJ, did you have a question? You raised your hand, or did you have like input or something you wanted to share?
Yeah, I had input I wanted to give Rodarte, but maybe later.
Okay. In that case, we'll hop into Cam. So where should we start here? So review the proper way to do KPIs.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to maybe like pull up you can share your screen, then we kind of like knock it down one by one.
Yeah. Let me just record this on the record.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I did it today. I'm just gonna go through how I do it, and then you can be like, no, you gotta do it this way. I start with my CPM and ad spend, so I just have to have Ads Manager up for like one time. So ad spend, the only thing I take is CPM and ad spend, correct, from Ads Manager in terms of what data I input.
Yes.
So I kind of do those two things first. Is that the right order I should be in? Is that consequential at all? Just if I put those two in first,
you can go from top to bottom, but yeah, that's fine.
it doesn't matter really.
Getting your ad spend, putting it on here, getting your CPM, putting it on here, and then moving from link clicks down. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah. So then for link clicks, I go. For link clicks, I take this one. I don't know if that's the right call. Is it this one, this one, this one? I've been taking this one because I feel like I thought I saw you do that one time.
That's the right one.
That's the right one. Okay.
And you filtered in the right date though? Like you filter the date?
Absolutely not. Shit.
Yeah. So you gotta make sure you filter the date.
God. All right.
So should we run that before?
194. Okay. Book discovery calls.
So your book discovery calls, are you good with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, book discovery calls, cost per book discovery call, $24. I think this one is just
Your cost per unique link click might be messed up.
yeah, I was thinking that too, because shouldn't it be this divided by this?
Yeah. So it should be $607 divided by 194.
So whenever I went like that, for some reason it's pulling from up here.
Yeah. So
Uh,
equals C16
Let's see.
divided by C3.
It's divided by just slash.
Yep.
C3.
Yep. Equals.
Well, and then equals.
Actually, no, I'm sorry.
Enter?
Yeah, I think just enter. Yep, enter. There you go.
Cool.
Boom.
Sweet. Thank you.
Then
yeah.
control C 313. Yep, go there and click control C. And then highlight the other ones. November, October, highlight all that. And then control V. There you go.
Nice.
Yep.
Sweet. Cost per book. Oh, I think that should be the same. Live discovery calls, 12. Cost per live discovery call. Booked sales meetings, 8. Live sales meetings, 1.
If you want, you can put something below 11. You can say like no shows. This way you have an idea of, hey, are you getting better or worse at like nurturing people and stuff like that? You can do no shows, you can do calls to be had.
Okay. How do I add one?
So you just click on insert, so you insert one above or below. So this one you'd be insert one below, yep.
Sorry, no
I,
shows, just
I would do no shows below. I mean, it's fine. You can move it later. I would do it below live sales calls.
okay.
Yeah, you can just move it. You can flip it. You should drag it, it should flip. Hey, yeah, insert. Yep. Cost per live sales meeting.
Yeah, that's accurate. Uh, acquisition. The main reason for all this is because of the horrendous. Um, I think it's probably because of the holidays, also mixed with the horrendous system that I have to keep them warm. Which I think I'm fixing now with like the new mechanism video and all that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, everything else looks good. And then one thing, so it's like revenue, how much do you stand to make if complete agreed upon payments? Why would this really be
So let's
like
say
why would I care?
I'll kind of explain these because these are all very important. So revenue, let's say you close 3 jobs at each of them are closed for 3,000 a piece. That's 369. That's $9,000 in revenue. But let's say each of them pay you $1,000 a piece. So you would put $9,000 here, even though you only collected $3,000.
Right.
And then row 19, cash collected would be 3,000. And then
Oh, sorry, but what's the point of 18? Like what value of it is it to me? Just to
uh,
know
yeah,
paid, they
it's
paid like how good I'm getting at them actually being able to pay the full amount of what they agreed upon versus
yeah,
like when if they said nine, it was always one, that's it. Compared
exactly.
to like now when they say nine, it's always nine from what I've done.
Exactly. So for me, for example, like I'll have months where, again, I'll close 2 deals and then, they're both for 5,000 a piece. So the revenue, let's say, is $10,000. But let's say each of them have one person's giving me $1,000, one person's giving me $500. If I put down $1,500, that's a massive difference between $1,500 and 10,000, right?
Right.
So I'll put down 10,000 as my revenue because I know, like, hey, they're most likely going to pay. But then for cash collect, I'm going to put down 1,500.
Okay. Okay.
You'll see. It makes a difference as time progresses. You'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, another thing I added in is like total cash collected. You should add that underneath. You can do that under like 19. So this is a super important one as well, which is like the total cash collected. So let's say you got 3 new clients that pay you $1,000 a piece, but then you got a total of like 12 clients, and each client pays $1,000 a month. So your total cash collected would be 12K. So just put in cash collected total. Total from, yeah, just say total from old and new clients. And the reason this is important is you want this number to always be double the ad spend. So if your ad spend is $600 so far, you gotta bare minimum be making 1,200 bare minimum by the end of the month.
Okay.
From old clients, new clients, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The revenue ROAS is basically going to be, your ad revenue divided by ad spend. Cash ROAS is going to be your cash divided by your ad spend. So typically, a good revenue ROAS could be like 4 or 5x, and a cash ROAS could be, 1.5x, 2x.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, that makes sense.
And just make sure you know, dial in the other ones and then dial in like the left column especially, which is like all your averages and totals. Like that's what makes a lot super important. The left column, which is B for you.
Yeah. Okay.
So just make sure you take some time and confirm, you know, you've got like all the numbers are correct. So for example, if I look at, you know, B5, your book discovery calls is not 4. It's obviously way higher than that. And you need those numbers because that's going to tell your average. So like for example, if you like, okay, let's just fix 4, for example. So click on that and do equal sum. No. So where it says V, delete V. Just yep, and then that's it. Hit enter. Oh, and then I'm sorry, double click on that again. Now you need to go from H revert yeah, make the H a C equals. Yeah, I'm sorry, like enter. So now your ad spend needs to do so you can do a control C on that yep, on B5 control C.
Oh, Control C.
You just click anywhere and then yeah, just click on B5, yep, and then control C. And then now click on B17
B17.
and then click on yeah, just click there. And then click do control V. So now if we look at your cost per book call, it's like $27.26. That's your average. Which means if you hit, you know, if you say, hey, Kushik, it just seems like my calls are fucking weird or whatever, I'll be like, no, dude, your average is $27. You're at 24. You're actually doing above. You're doing better than average. So
Okay.
I would say the stuff on the left is sometimes the most important stuff, the stuff that's on the total and averages. Kind of use that as like a benchmark.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And then for 2025, I would obviously not delete this, but do I just copy this? Like, do I just copy this?
If I were you, just keep this sheet going forever. Don't worry about 24.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good. And then in terms of like knowing what should I just do like January of 2024 to start off or 2025 for the next month? That's how I know the gaps for different years. Okay.
Yep. And then what you can also do, man, is you can just like combine. You're at a place now where you don't have to like you can clean it up. So September should just be one, October, November, December. Because right now you have like 4 for like September, right? You don't need to do that. You can clean it all up.
Right.
So when you have time, make sure you just clean that up and just also just like have it organized, right? So you have some stuff that's like not like and then sometimes in the middle, sometimes left, right? Just have it look clean. This is important. It's really important to
When you say clean it up, you mean like redo this all to make sure all the numbers are accurate?
that, but then also like just like for example, if you look at C3, it's like got a gray background and it's like in the middle. But then if you go to C4, it's like on the left.
Oh, right, right. Yeah.
Just
How
like
do you?
um you can like yeah, like that kind of stuff. But you just highlight everything all at once and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just like highlight everything and clean it up.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I think that answers my questions.
Okay, cool. So let's go
Yeah.
back to other questions then.
Cool.
What are the best ways to get my clients to input how much he collects from each job?
Yeah. I was kind of just wondering, like, should I get Michael to manually go into his opportunities tab when he completes the job and just stay organized? Because it'd be nice where it's like, I know how much he's making if we're just like multiplying the promo price by however many jobs he has, but then after that, it's kind of like, how am I?
Tell him to organize, update the numbers, and tell him like just explain to him like I'm explaining to you, like it's crucial that we have your numbers and everything's dialed in, or else we won't know what it is and it's not working. And if it's normal, it's
Right.
not normal.
Right. Okay. And that's in terms of like I kind of understand the importance, but on the other flip side of it, what's the best way to get him to do that, like physically, so it's easiest for him? Would it just be doing exactly that, just go in there and change order value?
Yeah, I mean, unless Mason has some different terms of go high level, like you have to figure out your own system. Like from Aman, for example, he does this, and he also has an Excel. He like zaps stuff together. So what I would do is I would, you know how we're doing this for you in terms of months? I would do the same thing with him. Like I would have his numbers broken down on a monthly basis. So you can basically take my Excel sheet and pretty much duplicate it for him.
Okay, okay,
That yeah. So you take that Excel sheet you're using, duplicate that for him, and then, have him fill that out.
right. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got our first lead from the messenger ad, which is pretty cool.
How much
Um,
did you spend on ads after you made that tweak? Or what was your cost per click and cost per message after you fixed it?
so um he told me today that to get Joe Miller it costed $16.
16?
16.
Is that with the old ad spend or is that the new ad spend?
That's just the new ad spend on the messenger for just the messenger campaign. It's like aside from the Facebook form campaign, the messenger campaign is $16 per lead as of right now. Now it's probably higher. He said that to me this morning. I think he himself turned the budget up to 20 because he's like, I want to turn up the speed on the testing before January 2nd. Um, yeah.
What was your cost? So cost per conversion is like $16, probably jump up to like $20. What was your cost per your cost per booked appointment before was like $100?
It was something around there. Yeah. I mean, when we were I swear to God, the Facebook forums broke. I know you guys are kind of like it. There's so many different factors and stuff, but it was just such a weird wall. And Facebook has been tweaking a little bit for me recently. And it's happened twice where it's like we're doing all these things, and then the next day it's like 4 leads, and then it's like it's back to zero. And I'm like, this is just super weird. The ad hasn't changed, and we haven't touched a single thing. And it's kind of like, I mean, it doesn't really make sense for me to get like emotional about it, but it's pissing me off because it's like we have a great system and I'm paying for these leads. It's almost Facebook should be like, all right, we're gonna give you your money back because you did get all these leads. You're getting all these link clicks, and all of a sudden there's a wall where the ad hasn't changed. You're getting the same amount of link clicks as the results of the other stuff, and the only difference is there's no leads in the pipeline. Like that's the only difference. All the other stats match exactly. So
Have you tried like killing the ads and building it from the ground up like 2 or 3 times maybe?
I've no, I haven't tried that. I was thinking about killing the campaign though and doing the exact same thing again. Don't do that.
Kill a campaign. I always keep your campaign on. Your campaign is killing ad sets is fine. Do not ever kill a campaign.
Unless it's like because I made a new campaign for the messenger.
That's when the only time you should. So like if you ever do messengers for him, you should always keep it there. Always, always, always. If you have other duck cleaning business owners that you're doing messenger ads for, keep them within that campaign as well.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was just yeah, it's just super weird.
Could be like I complain to Mason all the time about that. Like I'll have some shit work and then like literally overnight it stops working. I'm like, that's not normal. It doesn't, it's not, it should taper off. It just fucking goes from 0 to 100 real quick. I feel your pain. And I don't know that it's a technical thing. I don't think it's a technical thing. I think what happens is Facebook just shits the bed. And I have a tinfoil hat theory that sometimes Facebook shits the bed on purpose. Like they kind of get you hooked and get you amazing results, and then they shit the bed on purpose. I don't know. But it's also possible they could be tweaking out and just like fucking up, and you just if you redo the ad set, it might get good results again.
Yeah, because I've duplicated the ad set, I've changed the ad. It's just super annoying because I'm getting like so many link clicks. And to me, I know like it doesn't make sense to be like this amount of link clicks is this because I know there's no guarantee. But based of all of our experience, and we're still selling the same thing, duck cleaning. It's just a different ad to get different hooks, and it's like on average is like 1 in 10 across the whole board since I've been with Michael. And then it's just like we're getting the exact same amount of link clicks, but it's as if like I didn't map the form correctly, so the leads couldn't genuinely get into Go High Level. It was just the weirdest thing, but I was like, this is pissing me off because we're spending like $200 here and we haven't gotten a single lead. And it's just like we're still getting a stupid amount of link clicks, which makes no sense. It's still lead forms, it's all the same. Um,
Have you wait? I mean, what variable did you change? It sounds like you changed the variable of the creative.
yeah, I did. Yeah,
So
so
try going back to the original creative and doing a rebuilding the ad set?
Yeah, so we went to I pretty much built it out from I did the first ad that we ran, which got good results, and we went to like that TikTok kind of like trendy looking ad. Then we went back to a variation of the first ad where it's the same video on the left with like the guy cleaning the vent with the right pictures difference. So instead of like a vent cover that's dirty, it's the inside of a vent. So it's like a clean pipe and after clean or and a dirty pipe. And then that got some results. And then it just like stopped. And that was like getting some good results and it just stopped. And then I was like, oh, weird. Maybe it's, and then I was duplicating the ads. It's for all these to try to keep them going until like, it's like, okay, everyone's seen this. We gotta switch to creative. And that kept on working. And then for this one, it's like we're getting so many like clicks and it's all the same, but then just like no responses.
So did you have the ad set and you kept changing the creative within it, or are you
I
taking the ad?
duplicated the ad set.
Okay, so you have one ad set. So this represents the ad set, this represents the creative within it. You have this going, which is the original thing. This stops working. So then you duplicate the ad set and then you swap out the creative for another creative. You run this for a little bit. This stops working. You kill this, duplicate again. There's another creative. You swap this out for another. That's what you're doing, yeah?
Yeah. If I swap the creative, I'm always duplicating the ad set before I swap the creative.
Yeah. Yeah. So you take this ad set this ad set one, the original ad set, let's just say theoretically, you duplicate the ad set. So now everything is the exact same. Before you hit publish, you delete this creative and then you put another creative in there and then you hit launch on this. Yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. And then that's what you've been doing.
That's what I've been doing.
And so you did 3 times and the third time is where it stopped working, right?
I will. What you're talking about right now is what I have been doing in terms of when I switch to creative. But before I switch to creative, I just duplicate the same ad set and the same ad like over and over and over again until it dries. But that, yeah, to answer your question, like when I do eventually switch to creative, I do also duplicate in the ad set, switch it, then hit publish.
So what you're saying is ad set one with creative one, duplicate a few times. Okay, stop working, duplicate again, get rid of this creative, print another creative. Working, good, 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 good. Stops working, duplicate, 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 duplicate. Okay,
Yeah.
duplicate again, get rid of the creative, boom, duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Now it's not
Yeah.
working at all. So,
Yeah.
the question to you is, have you tried duplicating again, but then going back to the original creative? One thing you could do is you could duplicate and you can have one ad set with like the original creative. Another thing is you could duplicate and you have like all 3 of the creatives within that one ad set. You're just mixing it up and just see what the fuck happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. The reason I kind of just I didn't do that, but I completely lost faith. It just felt like we're getting all the results except for the leads. Like the metrics are great, the link clicks are great, and like the link clicks should eventually out of 30 people click on an ad, they're going to go through and it's going to be a lead. It just there was nothing happening on the back end, so I was like, I don't want to keep on. And Michael reached out to me before I reached out to him, but I was like, this is horrible. I knew it was horrible before. I was like, I'm glad he reached out because this is killing me on the inside and just knowing it's happening in the background. We're not getting any results. And then for me, I'm like, it just doesn't feel like there's anything we can do. Like, I don't think it's the creative. I don't think it's the ad set. I think it's something that's fucking up. Like, we can't win here. So I'm glad he kind of pitched the idea of the messenger ad. And yeah, we got one lead from it, so that's exciting. But
Out of 10 link clicks, you'll get 1 lead. What is your cost per lead?
it's around 35-ish.
Okay, so basically it's costing you about 3 cents to get a click, about $30 to get a person to opt in, and then 1 out of those 3 people he's basically able to convert into a booking.
Yeah, conversion rate's like 30%, and it's around $30 to get a lead.
Okay. So yeah, so if it's about $30 and he's already at $16, I wouldn't be surprised if you keep letting it run up.
Right now, like that's for the lead formats. That's what we experienced. That like block of like those 4 days spending $50 a day with no leads, obviously that changed things, but when it was working, that's what it was. That's what I gave you in terms of the metrics. Right now, I have no idea. We did this thing like a day and a half ago, and it was only recently that I made that one switch where it was like 30 bots, and then it was like nothing, and then it was just this Joe Miller guy who decided to give him a call. He's like, just give me a call and we'll book it, and he called him. I guess he booked it. So.
Sure. all these metrics you're giving me, like the link clicks, ad spend, bookings, revenue, profit, jobs, all this shit needs to be in Excel form, okay?
For each one of my clients.
Yeah, you need to, yeah, like literally what we're doing with you, you need to be doing that. So all of December, all of his numbers need to be on an Excel sheet for him.
Okay. For that, is it? Yeah, it's not a, it can't, I can't imagine it's as correct. I hate doing KPIs so much. I will do them, but is it fine if I do it at the end of every month for my clients?
It's fine, but ideally you get him to do it himself.
Right.
Somebody's got to do it. And there's ways to use like Zapier if you want to talk to Aman about it. I don't know exactly how he does it because he keeps track of a whole bunch of shit. Um, but yeah, I mean, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's imperative.
Yeah.
You can get him to do it. And like, you should have an Excel sheet, by the way, for the lead forms and for like the last 2 months. And then you should have another Excel pay sheet for the messenger ads because you got to differentiate. You got to keep the data separate.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it sounds good. I'll make one of those up. I'm just gonna write that down.
So what are the best ways to get clients to input as much client, how to set up the SMS campaign properly. So you and Mason can work through that. Dive
Yeah.
deep the snapshot Mason. So you and Mason, we can go into that later. Get step 2 to show up on a desktop version. So you and Mason can run through that. How to maximize messenger ad templates.
I think we kind of already went over that, right? Yeah. We're good.
Review settings for ad set and ad. You want to do that real quick?
This one is specifically that those two are kind of tied together. I don't really need that anymore because it's already been launched and we're good there. I was gonna there's another one somewhere in here where it's like, oh yeah, this one right here. It's like spend time going into immaculate detail through my Facebook campaign and find out why Facebook forms doesn't seem to be working. But that was just like it's just been pit. I'm like it because it's so nice and it was working. And it was just like I don't feel a need to go over to Messenger ads or anything else because it was working. But now that it's not working, it's like, ah, what the fuck? Now I have to like it seems like I had the whole world in my hands and it was just built on how good the creative is, and now it's just like
Don't I know it's frustrating, but you might come to find something cooler. Like I genuinely think that you might find something cool with the messenger ads. Genuinely.
yeah, yeah,
That's what Mason runs. That's what so many people run is like those messenger ads. So many people, and they find a lot of success with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it actually performs better.
okay. Yeah, the other thing I was wondering is uh I didn't really give too much thought into it, but what do you think how does a kind of what we do, or it's like when somebody clicks on an ad, they go to a landing page where it's like the video, the testimonials. How do you think that would perform for like like brick and mortar business?
Yeah, it could work. You know, what I've come to find is that it's like the most expensive is like driving traffic off social media into that. Then it's like lead form, and then it's like what you're doing with messenger ads. That's kind of like the order of operations of like most expensive to least expensive. Not always, but what I've seen.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I was gonna really go into that. I just thought I'd ask. Um,
And you're at a phase where again, I know it was nice, but you know, stay here a little bit long. It's worth in my here's what I'll tell you. This is the most important part. Out of all the businesses, everything I've seen, like this. If you remember how I talk about like the foundation and building the skyscraper on top of it, this is the fucking foundation. If you can make your client a shit ton of money, well, then it's easy to extract the money. But if you cannot make your client a shit ton of money, it's really hard to extract the money.
right. Yeah.
So it's like spend more time. Like if I were you, the right way to do it, again, I know you got your personal stuff in your life. This is me just like telling you overall strategy is worth spending time here. It's worth spending 3 months, 6 months, a year here. It is worth it. A year might be a bit much, but spending a solid 3 months and then trying out Messenger and even fucking going to a website if you can, if you got the budget for it, if you got your own budget, it's worth it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what I can do with Messenger ads. This little stint that me and Mike are in is kind of weird, but I'm excited for January 2nd when like it's go time again. Just because there's some ad spend that I can play around with to see what like we can experiment with in terms of messages and stuff. And I'll probably work with like Mason and you to figure out what messages I should send, like automations and that stuff. But um,
By the way, me and Mason are working on this thing called the, I don't did I tell you about this last week? The social funnel.
yeah, yeah, dude, yeah,
So that might, if you end up doing messenger ads and they end up working really well, you could implement that as well. That's gonna like potentially crush it for him.
right, okay. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay. In that, I don't want to go too deep into that, but in that scenario, when you do the Facebook follower, like that whole thing, what's up with these lines here? What the hell? You see that? What the,
Oh, I'm sorry,
uh,
that was my fault.
oh no, you're good, you're good. I was like, what? Slashers out here. I was like thinking about that social media. I don't know what do you call it? Social.
Social funnel.
Yeah, social funnel. Is it imperative that your social media is decent, like educational? Like, see you as a figure. It's like, oh yeah, this is a good comp. Is that kind of part of the deal? Where if you do that, you have to have a decent social media page where they're like, oh yeah, I'll follow you or whatever.
Part of the strategy, yeah.
Okay.
Who are you planning on using that for?
Oh, I wasn't really like, diving into it too much. I was just asking like a question, maybe for the future, just like curiosity.
It would be for his client Michael, because so right now he's gone from lead form to messenger ads, right, Mason? And what I was just telling him is like, hey, if messenger ads really crush it for you, well then, like DMs, follower ads, like all that stuff is like it's part of the same ecosystem. And so we could work on that as well. We can get him a shit ton of followers, a shit ton of messages. He could have a full-time setter, or we could use AI to book these things for him. So we just like create content, get him a bunch of followers and messages, use AI, book some shit for him. Anyways, that's kind of what we're talking about, Mason.
Gotcha.
Maximize this good results. Yeah, this one was weird. I have like a lot of stuff on my phone, but it just seems like there's so many people that yeah, I guess it might have been the bots. I don't think I even want to touch on that. Mason, do you find that when it's a legit lead, they often send like duplicate messages like I'm interested twice or like 3 times even?
Um, that's happened to me a couple of times. Well, actually, a decent amount of times, but I don't think necessarily. Like there is people that accidentally do send it twice because they'll send the message and then right after they send it, it'll come up and it'll say chat with this person. Then the actual instead of pressing the button, you can actually instead of typing it, excuse me, typing your keyword, they can press your keyword. So sometimes it'll say like I'm interested because they do it twice.
Okay, okay,
But
gotcha.
4, 5, 6, 7 times, like I've never seen that before.
Okay, yeah. We got hit like with 30 bots. I was so excited. I didn't do anything deeper other than seeing it on the lead connector. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then Michael's like, yeah, all these, every single one, not like 29, not 28, like 30 out of 30 of these are bots. I was like, God damn it. But that's what they were doing. So yeah. But the one that was legit and that Michael closed, this morning, actually, he sent it twice too. So that's why I asked you, Mason.
Yeah.
Um, Oh yeah, this is something I wanted to run by Koshik, and then I think it's all Mason. Um, this is an idea that I had, and I think yeah, the reasons why I'm asking you this, and if you think it's a good idea, is because I think it'll allow me to not, it'll allow me to say every single thing that I want to say, and then hearing you and Rodarte kind of dive into it, maybe think about maybe after the slides where it's kind of like in this section here where I kind of just start ripping it. Maybe I don't really bring him in, but I'll kind of have it in my mind if my idea is to practice this alone like over and over and over and over again. So I'm like a machine and have all the text there that I want to say so that for every single slide I hit every single point that I want to hit and maximize each slide because the slide's there for a reason. So I want to make sure it does its job before I move on. And then maybe at the very end I'll have like I don't know, like tie it back to them or something on the ones that I really want to tie back to them. And so I still have, it's not purely just words for words and it's not custom to them. I'm actually like telling them why this fits perfectly for their needs and what we talked about. So maybe I'll put that in there, just highlighted in orange for me, like, okay, and this is the reason why we have this is because you mentioned this, and this is why we have this to squash that. So and the other thing that I think this would be really nice for is I kind of just took screenshots of every single slide, and every time I see the slide, I move on to this, and then when I go to the slide, I go on to that. Um, and the reason why I kind of like this is because it's kind of like idiot proof in a weird way. If I practice it enough, I'll be able to kind of go off the cuff and be linguistical about it, but I also know that I'm saying every single thing that I need to for a slide, and I'm saying these things because I know it'll hit or whatever. It'll also allow me to be like, this keeps happening after this. Oh, what are you saying? Well, I say this every single time. What could I change it to so this wouldn't happen? Um, I think it would be like idiot proof, in a weird way, and it'd just be so copy and paste. And I was thinking about even doing it in these points because I don't want to say something wrong, like the tiny things. I want to. There's so many like tiny things that I'm saying, where it's like I don't know that I messed up until I hop on one of these calls with you guys. You're like, oh, dude, and I'm like, well, it'd be super nice if I just kind of walked through my text and you guys like help me build out this text together. So it's like, oh, that's gonna crush. Just practice it so it sounds natural. And then I can just hop on a sales call and know that it's gonna hit every single time as long as I get used to tying them in to their problems like custom systematically. Um, so it really hits their specific needs with whatever I'm going over. That's why I think I would need to practice it a lot so I can start, instead of thinking about reading the text, I can start thinking about how I'm going to tie it into their problems after I'm done reading this sort of thing. Um, and then at the very end, because I already have that for the end and at the very beginning to kind of start going on, especially for like, because you're kind of like say it word for word for the price. I kind of want to do that for my whole presentation, like my whole presentation. Because if I can make it as good as possible by saying every single thing that I've wanted to, rather than just me trying my best and going call after call, and coming to these coaching calls, I think it would be super nice and in a way easy. Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? Or what are your thoughts on it?
Mason, what are your thoughts?
I don't think it's a good idea. The reason, like, I think there's good things in what you're doing. I think there's bad things in what you're doing. I think the first thing that really comes up to top of mind for me is I think that you can be a little bit more like you're too analytical what you're trying to do right now. It's like the more analytical that you get, even though you're kind of reading words off a screen, that really inhibits us from listening to what the prospect is saying. See what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you're going through your script, you're kind of hitting every point, but you're not able to see or kind of really tie it back the way that you were kind of saying, like, hey, once I kind of have this script down to completion, then I can relate it back to them. But in reality, it's like your script is always going to change. So it's like by the time you create the most perfect script on the planet, there's already gonna be things that you're going to want to change in your presentation anyway from actively listening from the people that you're talking to. Does that make sense? So it's like instead of trying to make it a mathematical formula of like, if client says A, then I'll say answer A on my sheet. It's more along the lines of understanding like the core concepts of what you're trying to do in a very like bulleted pointed formula and then just going off the cuff from there because there's no way that you're gonna be able to memorize like all of this. Or like because I don't know how long your demo call is. Like, is your demo call, is that your discovery call or is that your sales call?
This is my demo call, sales call. Yeah, demo call,
Okay.
sales call.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like something like this for me, it may work for you, but this would give me more anxiety because I'm trying to hit like everything. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss something. Like, I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I was kind of. Yeah, my idea behind this was kind of like kind of putting everything down on paper and then making it as short as possible, just making sure I hit all the spots that I need to, and then move on to my shit of like tying it back or being like natural or whatever. But I have these slides out, so when I see the slide, I pull it up on the screen, I read the thing that I need to kind of start it off, and then after that, I can do whatever I want. And then when I'm done there, I answer the questions, I tied it back, whatever. I move it on. And when I see this request screen, then I say this, then I kind of move on to touching back and whatever I need to do. But at least I know that I'm hitting the points that I need to. Because you're kind of, I hear you guys say a lot. It's like it really matters what words you say and how you say them. So that's kind of where I was thinking about like I really want to make sure the words. I feel like this is the best way to make sure I hit all the right words properly, and then I practice it enough where my tonality is like exactly how you guys think I should be.
So
Jorge, get this shit off the screen, bro. Come on here and scribble on our shit and then leave.
oh, there
Bro,
you
show
go.
me your face. Get your ass back here. You
Did I?
erase that stuff?
Oh, my bad. I thought. I'm so sorry.
He just comes by, throws like a
Just
milk.
came in like an angry kindergartner, scribbled on our page and left.
Well, it's not actually letting me. I don't even think that was me.
I thought it was you at first, Mason. Then I looked down, I'm like, oh no, he's not sitting down. It's not him.
Oh, it's me.
But
No, I don't think it's me. Sorry.
why'd you volunteer, bro? Why'd you say it was you?
Why'd you come back?
Because as I was,
Like,
I was
like,
trying to
back.
move, and so I'm like, oh shit, did I do that?
Jorge's the type of dude that like he doesn't want to see the prank happen. He like comes back and later he's like, "Well, what happened, guys?" Like he doesn't want to watch it go down. He likes to come back and ask questions. You're
Of course. So I would say that I agree with Mason overall in terms of, like the higher thing, but also Mason, like I think I think we have a unique circumstance with Cam. Like I think he's just built different. Like it feels funny saying, but I think the dude's built different. I think he's not normal. And so I say that because that
In a good way or a bad way? We can't help this guy.
no, no, in a good way, in a good way, in like a really weird good way, is that like if you Mason, have you had a chance to review any of his sales calls or no? Not yet. He's like really personal. Like he ties it so like I know what so here's what Mason's getting at. What Mason's getting at is like you have to listen to a person. And this is what like literally what we're talking about with Rodarte is like he doesn't listen enough to be able to like understand what the fuck somebody's actually saying beneath their physical, beneath their words, and understand like what's actually important to them and really listen, really hear them. Because you need that in order to orchestrate your message. So it's like the most important part is listening and then orchestrating. The thing, Mason, though, is like he like orchestrates it. Cam's just such a good talker that he just orchestrates it to the point where you're like, fuck, he's been listening all along. And so even though Mason, it seems like he's trying to make it like this robotic, methodical thing, the thing is he's just so naturally good at talking to people and like letting them know, like, oh, I hear you, that they wouldn't know that he's being a robot. That's the thing about him. The way he like fluctuates his voice, his tonality and stuff like that. It seems like it's a very robotic thing, but he's so good at doing it. It's kind of like a news anchor, or if you look at Kevin, Meet Kevin on YouTube, like people talk about him, like the way he talks, it's like natural. So he's just like really good at it. So, anyways, the crazy thing is like what you're doing, Cam, is like ideal for a sales team because this is what a sales team needs. A sales team needs something really broken down, really fucking line by line so that they don't fuck it up. So I think what you're actually doing is something that could be good future proof for actually a team. So I would say like my natural gut instinct is very similar to what Mason's saying, which is like this is like crazy. It is truly crazy. Like this is like next level madman shit. But the thing is also is like if this is what works for you, like do it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a lot of work, and I think most people would get anxiety. I would get anxiety from this. But if this actually helps you, go for it. I think part of me and part of Mason is just like, we don't want you to forget the fundamentals. We don't want you to forget the most important thing, just like understand listening. But the thing is, I think you do that. I think you get that. So I'm not worried about that. So a long way of saying like, if it works for you, go for it. And also, I think this could help you in terms of your sales team. So actually, I'm looking at that perspective. I'm looking at it from there. And also I understand your perspective, like you're very much you understand this is all a big science project. It's like what words we say matters and how we say it matters. And I need to be able to like tie it back to like, okay, did I fuck up that one word? Did I fuck up that one sentence? And if that's what fucked it up, well then I'm not gonna do that moving forward. I like the way you're thinking. You're just going like for some people it's overboard. But if it works for you, I think go for it.
I mean, it's definitely overboard, but like that's what I was kind of like. It's gonna take me a while to actually like make this whole thing. I just
The
like
thing is,
feel
like,
I don't
here's
have
what I
to
want
think.
you to know.
Yeah,
If
there
you
you
are
go.
asking, if you're asking me and Mason to type that shit up or do that with you, hell no. You do that, and then you do your calls and then come back to us.
Well, I was thinking like this way I would actually have this thing. It's like, yeah, my calls are gonna be changing all the time, but I would be changing this all the time as I go. So that's kind of where my angle is coming from. It's not like I'm gonna have a golden script and just like, oh shit, that didn't work, and then throw it in the garbage. Like I keep on working on it until it's like, oh, the majority of the time. And it's so systematic because like I like the way that you guys do this whole course thing where it's like you guys do this because of this, and then if that doesn't work, you have like plan B. This way, it's like, oh, this doesn't work. What happened? Well, I say this. Oh, that's probably it. You should never say that because then they start thinking about this after you said that. I like the idea. I can systemize it where it's like we can really break down. There's no, oh, what did you say after this? I'm like, I can tell you exactly what I said word for word. This is what I read. What do you think I should change on here because of this happened? And it keeps happening. That type of thing, that's kind of where my mind was at. And here it's like I like the fact that I don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing if I kind of show you guys. Also, I haven't really used up my one free sales call with you, Coach Geek. So I'm hoping once I have this and I work on it a little bit and do a couple sales calls, then I'll throw it at you. Um,
I like it. I like the idea. Like I said, I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man. Go for it.
yeah, cool. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else, but yeah, that was kind of it. Even like in these things here, it's like before it's kind of like I only had text to begin with here. And then when I got to this first slide, then it's just me, just with the laser pointer and me doing whatever I feel is natural to kind of get them hooked. And then when it starts to ask questions, then it's back to like this is very important. I got to make sure I answer all the same questions. And as soon as I done that, answer all the questions, then start doing these things systematically, one step at a time. After that happened, I like all that because there's like it's very you know exactly where to go back into once you're outside of it, and you know when you're outside of it, especially. Um, so I like the idea of this, but yeah, I think I'll get weird with it and see what happens after a couple sales calls, and then come back to you guys.
Go back to your Excel sheet. Where's the month that you were absolutely crushing it? What month was that? September, October, when you were running ads a lot and closing a lot of deals. It looks like it's some end of September and October.
Something like that, yeah.
So what I want to see is I want to like my mind is going to this. Yeah, your sales call matters. Like I'm sorry, like this everything that we went over matters, but this is what matters to me more. Like I'm trying to read this data and figure out what the fuck is going on. Does that make
Right.
sense? Like when I looked at when you were doing calls back at the end of September, October, it's just like it just seemed like you're on a hot streak. And so my mind is just like, okay, well, whatever you were doing then is what you need to be doing now. That's the simple answer. Um, like that's the truth, you know what I mean? Or we need to figure out what it is that you're doing different now substantially than you were doing last time, or what was it that was causing the success the last time? That's really where my mind is.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out. I was like, what caused the success? What were the things that you were doing or not doing then versus now that was leading to success then? That's where my mind is. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't really know. I think I had my original script and my original presentation. Each sales call was like around an hour long. My discovery calls were like 20 minutes long. Then I got 3 clients and I just stopped to only focus on sales, service delivery. I came back, turned my ads back on. The calls went incredibly different. The sales script hadn't changed a little bit. Like discovery call, everyone was asking about price. That kind of started to flare up. And then on top of that, there's some point in between when I turned my ads off and in between when I turned my ads back on, there was that thing that was instilled in my mind where I think you had the thing with like Quillman or something where it's like I suggest you guys doing like the 1,000 over whatever else because this could happen if you don't get them with the prepayment or all that stuff. So then I was like, oh, I'm not going to be doing any more prepayment plans. I got to just focus on the 2083. Like nothing else is acceptable. I got to put all my mind towards there. And then that didn't go through. And then it's like, I don't know. It was just a weird stuff happened, but it all kind of just fell apart in a weird way. But I was getting 1,000. That was like I swear to God, it was like 5 sales calls and I got 3 of them. And that fourth guy that I didn't get, that's the guy that called me, like Shimmy and Jesse. That's who I'm dealing with right now. So,
Hmm.
um,
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And if we need to pivot, so here's the thing with you. I think I told you this on like 2 coaching calls ago, which I was like, I'm not worried about you doing the $1,000 now because of the results we've seen, right? Like before, I would have been worried. Now I'm not so worried. So if we need to pivot to that, we'll pivot to that. It's not ideal, but if we need to, we will.
right. Okay. And how do you guys recommend? So I'm going to start off with the exact same thing that you do, and then what would you guys suggest, and how would you suggest saying it to then offer the $1,000? I don't want it to be like, oh, there's one more, after they're like, I can't do that. There's no way. So is there a way that you kind of bring it in? Do you bring it in like after you talk about the first 2 options first, and then you're like, you know what, here's what I can do for you. We actually have this plan. The reason why I didn't bring it up to originally because of X, Y, and Z, but some people love it because of X, Y, Z. What it's gonna look like and what it would look like for you is you would put down $1,000 for and kind of go into it like that, or what would you? How would you recommend going into it so it doesn't sound like, oh, this guy's just desperate and that's why didn't he give that to me originally? He's just trying to get me for more money, obviously, but
No. So you do go in. So you basically pick the 2083 or the 5K, or you do the 2083, the 5K to 1K. You pick one of these 2 options.
say it again, sorry.
So if you're not if you're tremendously confident and you're really trying to level things up and you're focused on cash flow, which is what you've been doing, you just do what you've been doing the last few calls, which is, hey, it's $2,083 a month, which equals to 6,250. Or if you prepay, it's $5,000 one-time payment. Which one of those do you want to do? That's what you've been doing. That's what I do. Now, if on the other hand, you're like, hey, I don't know if they're going to take the 5K, the 2.8K or whatever, I don't feel very confident, then you go this route, which is what you were initially doing, which is, hey, it's $2,083 a month, which is 6,250, or one-time payment of $5,000. But in your particular reason, but I'm sorry, but in this particular reason, because of reason A, B, C that you gave me, what I like to do is I like to just give you a test drive. I think that would be the right thing to do for you. And I'd like to just get you in for $1,000 today. Just test drive, make sure it all feels good. And if it does feel good, I'm happy to honor the 5K. You can pay that, at the end of the 30 days, which is what you were doing before. So you just pick one of these 2 routes. Does that make sense?
And I pick one of those 2 routes based off of how I feel. Not every single time I do give the first 2, then the third one. And then if I feel really good about the only giving the first 2 options and not the $1,000, if I lose the sale, I lose the sale. But it's just based off my feeling, is what you're saying.
So I'll tell you how I'm doing it, and I'm going to give you a suggestion, okay? So
Okay.
how I do it is literally that. Is I just if I feel good about it, I'll go for this. If I don't feel good about it, I'll go for the payment plan. I literally did that with Kilman. I gave him the payment plan. I gave him Arno the same thing. I didn't feel good. I didn't think that they would be a good fit for the coaching program, so I just gave him $1,000 both. Okay. Now, other people that I feel good about, like you, I just make you the offer. And so my suggestion for you is what you initially started off with is you initially start off just doing the trial, the $1,000. And I'm confident that if you do this, it'll work for you because it already worked in the past. I think it'll work again. What you've been doing is you've been trying the 2083, 5,000. I think you should keep doing that for a little bit, keep trying it. And if you just struggle with it's not working, then we can make a pivot. Maybe we'll do this for the next, like, I don't know, 5 sales calls. We'll do 5 sales calls this way. And if it doesn't work, then we'll say, fuck it. Let's scrap it. Let's go back to the original way.
Okay. And when you say like 5 sales calls this way that I've currently been doing and 5 sales calls and the original way means always give the trial plan or and so that's always give the trial plan and this way for the next 5 calls go based on how I feel. So the trial plan can be an option as long as I feel like they're not going to go with it.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you. I won't tell you to force yourself. Like, so have a conversation and you just pick like, you can do it like me. It's like, hey, I should be doing the 2083, the 5K. I should be doing that. But if I just feel like they're not going to take it, then I'll go with the $1,000 trial. And again, 6,250, one-time payment of 5K, or that's what we typically do. In your case, $1,000 trial for 30 days.
Yeah, good. Good. Sounds good. Yeah, I think that answered my questions.
just feel it out. You make your decision, you feel it out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to. I turned my ads back off because I'm taking like I didn't want to, but I'm taking like a bit of a break. I've been doing like 13-hour days. Like my back is hurting. I've just been like a raccoon in here, so I gotta just chill and let my body breathe for a sec. Um, but yeah.
Other questions that you have for me, man?
I don't think so. Yeah, what's actually no, never mind. You're
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, I mean, we'll circle back and do the same thing. Mason, you cool to do it like last week? Leave the tech questions for you at the end. Is that cool?
Yep.
Um, then Mr. MJ, we haven't talked in quite a bit. Do you have anything that you want to go over, man? I know.
Not much, not at all, not yet. Still working on things.
Cool. Yeah, just keep me posted once you start, getting close to working with her, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, well, we're just doing some back-end stuff, but maybe like in January or something. I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Thanks, son.
Mr. Rodarte or Mr. Jorge with his crayons. You got your crayons, bro? Trying to draw some shit real quick.
Jorge never stays between the lines.
Mr. Jorge bouncing. He's not staying between the lines.
Heard Cameron talk about HVAC, and he wanted to show us a system there.
Jorge, I've been watching like your shorts that you've been making, the jujitsu ones. Those are funny, bro. Mason, do you watch them? Jorge's videos?
Oh, I haven't seen him. Why was he posting? Let's see.
Oh, they're actually like really funny. He makes some
Sorry,
good,
I was yeah.
bro. We can't hear anything you're saying. Jorge's.
Hello?
Hello? Can you your yeah, your Wi-Fi is like red. It's a little bit better.
Better?
It's a little bit. Try talking.
How
You're
about now?
lagging. The video's lagging, but we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, I was on mute. I went to this little room, so I think that's what made it worse.
Oh, you're good. What's up?
But no, I was saying I couldn't hear you guys because I was unmuted. But all I heard is like my name. I'm like, oh shit.
We were talking shit about all that short form content you create for your gyms.
Oh yeah.
I'm joking,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
I'm joking. I was telling the guys that your stuff's actually really good. It's pretty funny.
thanks. It's all my girl. She's the social media manager for this place, so I'm just a talent.
So
So
do you like script it out and then she films it and then you edit it, or what? How do you guys do it?
no, so she comes up with all the ideas and then like she gives me an idea and I just expand on it. Like I just make the hook better and like I just put my expertise and then obviously I just deliver and she's the one who like does edits and
So so you're posting that for like Adam and the gym's social media accounts to like, are you getting paid for that, or is you just doing it for fun?
no, she's getting paid for that.
Oh, she is nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I put her on, so I might as well, add that maybe in the future or something, right? At least because she does marketing too. She goes to school for it, so I was like, at the same time, I can help her out too.
Oh, that's really good. That's good. I'm glad. So what's up?
Not much. I was just gonna give a quick update with everything. I mean, I already pretty much told you everything, the extent. It's just the first challenger graduated to the program and then signed month to month, and then yeah, we made like a post about him where I'm thinking like if it's worth adding like a certificate at the end or something like that, but that's like just ideas, like brainstorming ideas, like how to make it even more special, right? Um, but that's it, yeah, pretty much that's it. We got a couple more people that are about to come up on their 6th week, and that conversion is just, I think it's either, yeah, I think it's gonna be like 50%, right? One other person barely comes, right? I already know that person's probably not gonna convert to a regular monthly membership. And then everybody else is like super really into it, right? So we're getting quality people, which is even better.
Yeah, man. I mean, that all sounds good. I guess like I mean, in terms of the overall journey, like, where you're at, or and what you need help with, or whatever, in that domain, like, do you have questions regarding that stuff, or like, do you kind of sort of know what you have to focus on right now?
No, no real question. I mean, I guess yeah, real question would just be like clarification, but I think I know what to focus on right now at this point. Um, what I'm gonna be doing is just systematizing everything and putting more content together, but this time just for like course, a course for the actual master side of things, right? So I can just deliver this to somebody else. And then I'm in works of like applying this to another school just so I can validate it again. Because I think that would be like the real like this was already like awesome. Like this worked here. But if I do it again, I'm not looking for sure. Like that's it's time to go.
Before you do it for another place, what I would just make sure you do is a tip. What I would do is I would run the ad in that location and just ensure your cost per click, cost per lead is within KPI. So it's not a location issue.
Mhm.
And then if that's good, well then yeah, move forward, help that other clinic out, validate all that stuff.
You're saying
But
just run the ads like as if we were doing it?
yeah, yeah, because like I mean I can like if like I can run ads to like, Adam's gym in that location with my Facebook, with my Instagram, with just that ad, and some people will click on it, regardless of what I look like and regardless of, you know what I mean, like my Instagram, my Facebook. People will opt in. That's how I would validate that that offer works in that location.
Like for my account?
So I can go into my Facebook, right? I can go into like Kushik Ahmad. I can go to my Instagram, right? The one that we're friends on, and I can run ads with like your creative, the 6 week challenge, and I can run it in your location. And so if I run in your location with my Instagram, my Facebook, and I'm getting, cheap cost per click, cost per lead, well then I just know that that ad works in that location. Do you understand?
Mm, okay.
So if I were you, if you run the app, so whatever the next location that you want to, help out with, whether it's in Chicago or New York, whatever, I would just run ads there before you actually like start helping them, because it sounds like you're maybe doing a pro bono thing, or you're doing it for cheap. I don't know, or you're getting paid for. I don't know, but I would just make sure you run the ads before you actually go there and actually like take that venture on, because
Got it.
does that make sense? That's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Aside from that, like what I just pulled up is like Aman just showed me, is like, hey, I've been like pushing him to create course material. And so this is, you can check this out. Cam can check this out. It might be important for you as well, Cam. So this is just something very simple, like launch call. Again, I don't necessarily think it's the best thing to do. You should definitely have videos, but like this is how he's doing it. Like, here's how to track your leads, step one, step two. So it's like a lot of just like visual and text. So this is what I mean. Like, just have something in place. Like, this is good enough as a minimal viable product. So you're not constantly explaining stuff to all of your clients. This is good
Mhm.
enough. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just create something like this. Again, I'm pretty sure Alman did it in like 24 hours. You guys can
Mhm.
all, once you do this, man, you can start focus on acquisition again, which is what you need to be focused on as soon as possible.
Mhm.
So yeah. Aside from that, man, anything else you want to chop it up, bro? Any
Um,
anything I can help with? Anything Mason can help with?
I would have to be like in front of my laptop right now, for a Mason question. There's just one thing, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but when I'm in, it's more like a technical thing within the workflows. So say sometimes like I have to like pinpoint it exactly, but I think it's when I book somebody on when they come in as a lead, I call them up and I book them on my own, like say like on my calendar, on my Go High Level on my laptop. I book them in and then they get into the booked appointment workflow, but they don't get kicked out of the lead nurture workflow. So they're essentially getting like double the messages And it's like, hey, thanks for you just booked your appointment here, confirmed. And then the second one is like, hey, by the way, like what's your top training goal? Which is part of the lead nurture sequence. And it kind of works out because it's like another form of like getting them in contact because most of the time they don't even notice. They're just like, oh, hey, I want to lose weight. And then I'm like, all right, cool, right? And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go in there and I gotta take that off. But I just noticed like if I leave it on, people are like what? Or like it hasn't been like a problem yet, but I just think that it should be cleaned.
Yeah. Mason, is that something you can help with? Or
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, just send me a Loom video and just show me, like, how are you booking the calls? Are you like putting them in the calendar yourself, or like how are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm putting them in the calendar myself.
Are you booking them through like a page that you have pre-built out, or are you just booking them right into like the calendar section of Go High Level?
So I have their profile pulled up and I just go under like the book
So
appointment tab.
that's why it's happening probably. It's either that or it's the fact that you don't have a remove from workflow trigger or not trigger.
Hmm.
Remove from workflow uh part inside of your automation where basically they're stuck in two stages of the pipeline at once and they're not moved from the previous one. So all of the executions underneath whatever you have set are still going to continuously go out.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, I'll send you a Loom video then because right now like, I'm just making stuff up.
It's one of the two. It's probably one of the two. And I
Okay,
don't, so you're good.
cool. I mean that's really it. I did actually for the course creating material. If I wanted, do you think it's a good idea, Kushik, to add a sales recording of like me closing
course.
somebody from the challenge?
1000%, bro.
Bro, you should be recording that. You should be recording conversations for the re-up. Like, you know how you're going up to him and just like talking, bro. You should be like micing yourself for all that shit.
Okay.
100%.
Maybe like even like, hey, this is how I do accountability check-ins. This is
All
okay.
that, all that shit you should be documenting.
Okay, gotcha. For sure. And then is it okay if it's just like audio? Like it's just like a black screen?
Something is better than nothing.
Okay.
Eventually you'll want it in text format, but yeah, like just any way you can document it, the better.
Okay, for sure. So then yeah, that's it. I think I talked to Cam and he gave me like a good baseline of like where he's at. I pretty much just like took that as a template and then just like made it my own. Now it's just really just about filming the content and plugging in everything that I already have and then just building out that.
Cool. Good. Anything else, Jorge, Cam, MJ?
Um, yeah, when you make a course, Koshik, like let's say I got every single video that I need, now I just gotta organize it in some sort of platform. Do you have like a platform that you would recommend, or do you have like a guide on that, or?
Go High Level. You can create the course within Go High Level.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That's why it's dope.
Well, then never mind. It's like a it's like,
Move to Go High Level. Oh, Mason, I don't know if you should go to Go High Level. You know who that was like 6 months ago?
is that like it's like a decent course? Like it's not like, oh, this kind of sucks, but at least I don't have to pay for another platform. It's like you'd be happy with it. Like it does exactly what Koshik's kind of thing is, if not like better.
This is the same exact thing.
Same exact thing. Okay, cool.
Same exact thing.
Sweet. Is it just like a template they have to buy, or like is it just one like a
You just build it.
you just gotta build it? Okay.
Yeah. Like there's templates inside. You don't have to pay for any of it, but there's like templates inside.
Cool. And then you can just set like a password and like all that classic stuff, the back end or whatever.
Are you familiar with School?
I've heard it be said a lot. And I know what the logo looks like. And I know it's connected to like Alex Ramosi or whatever, like cool games, but I don't really.
Let me pull. I'll just like pull this up for you just so you can see it. Okay. So this is just like a little community, but basically like here's our course inside. Gotta edit this image, but basically it's literally just this. And they can scroll in and pick their like choose what they want to look at.
Oh, cool.
That's in Go High Level?
Yeah. So I mean, there's different customizable templates and stuff like that, but I mean, it's a course, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Sweet.
when would you do that over school? Like, why did you pick that over school?
Because why would I pay another $97 for the same thing that I can get in here?
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's part of the 300 program, or like or is it like the 499 program?
97.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Oh, wow, that's dope.
Yeah, there's no extra payments, guys. You can build this out, right? I mean, I'm not saying do it right now. I'm just saying you have the power to do it right now.
Mason, yours is on. I didn't know your stuff. I thought you're on school. You're on Go High Level.
I'm on Go High Level, man.
Oh,
you were come on, man.
You were talking about school for so long. I
Oh,
was
they
like,
can suck it.
you were talking about them so long though.
I
Wow.
know. And then I was like, dude, I'm just gonna pull the trigger on Go High Level. The only thing that kind of sucks balls about Go High Level right now that they're probably going to fix eventually is like their system in terms of you allowing to view things on your phone. I would say that's like the number one thing that Go High Level it does have. There's just an extra step in terms of getting the course and stuff on your phone, but other than that, it really dominates in every other aspect. I mean, you guys saw my screen. It looks just like school. Or you just have a course. That's it. You know what I mean? You don't even need a community or nothing. You just have a course. That's all.
If we pivot to this whole social funnel thing, Mason,
Yeah.
I will move everything over from ClickFunnels to Go High Level and do that. That would be worth it.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. It looks nice. I would love to have like the gamify and the interaction and all that stuff. That would be sick.
Yeah, you can have it so they unlock certain levels, and then as they unlock a certain level, the new material is created. So it's like you can't like, you know how in our system it's like you have to close a deal before you get access to the other shit. It's like you can actually create that and make that happen so they can't access the material.
Do they have to like put in a password to get to the next level, or is it based off of how much course material is watched?
You can do it based off that, or you can grant them access whenever you want.
Shit, you can manually do it?
Yeah, why not?
That's sick. That's dope.
Yeah, so like for example, I could go in and I could be like, all right, Cam, you only have access to these videos.
That's dope. That's nice. Okay.
I also can see, you know, how much of the videos he's watched and which videos he has watched, how far he's watched them, all that type of stuff.
Nice.
Like for us, like we had a lady come in not too long ago and she was just posting in here and I'm like seeing that she's actually going through the content. So she's someone we're probably gonna reach out to.
Nice. Huh. Yeah, so like if you have a lead that comes in that's consuming content, yeah, that makes sense. Good stuff. Any other questions, guys?
I don't think so. I'm glad I asked that though. That's super cool.
Mason, do you want to teach us some IFCA stuff, or you want to go into your tech stuff? I'd love to learn some IFCA stuff.
I mean, what do you want to know?
Anything. Mason just paid an arm and a leg for this one dude's program who's like a boss. And so I'm just like, yo, Mason, teach me some shit, bro.
Yeah, there's so much stuff in here. Like, I thought we had a really like decent niche, bro. We done fucked up. Like, that was the first thing that we really went through. I really like the automations in terms of like getting the client contract and getting that signed and getting everything kind of automated for us. Like, in terms of like systematizing things up, it's like beautiful so far. Like it's like, hey, dude, like this is how you automate the first email when they sign up. This is how you get their signature. This is how you do everything. It's like 3 seconds, like boom, done. So we've just kind of been sitting in the tech a lot, but I've briefly started to go through all like the DM conversations. Dude, their script is so good. Like I love what they do in terms of like their. I was talking to Jordan today on the call, and we were going over like what our offer looks like, and we kind of rebranded the entire thing. And kind of redid everything, but he was showing me like the scripts and what he would do in terms of like our business for lead generation, and it sounded a lot interesting where basically he gave me more of the secret sauce of like what local ads work. If that makes sense. So he's not giving me like I'm saying this in terms of the CMCC. So in terms of IFCA, he's giving me, hey, like this is how you generate leads. It's kind of all indirect offers, which is like follow me. And then he runs retargeting ads. He doesn't run any cold DMs because I guess like a lot of people are doing it. So what he's saying is run the follower ads and then only run cold DM ads as not cold DM ads, retargeting ads to people that have watched 50% of a video or engaged with your content. Say that again?
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what he was doing in terms of that, but instead of using like follow my page, you don't necessarily have to do that. You can I think he calls it like the spider web funnel or something along the lines of that, where he's using more like lead magnets. Lead magnets, collecting their information. Then he has a really good script in terms of getting people on a call, or a report call, whatever, discovery call, first call. As well as instead of using lead forms, we're now using surveys. So it's like a type form type of thing. What else?
Wait, I thought that's what you guys are doing. I thought you were doing follower ads for top of funnel, and then for middle of funnel, you were doing retargeting DM ads. Isn't that? I thought that's what you were doing.
So we were doing, so for the DM ads, what we were originally doing was just DM ads to a cold audience. When we were running follower ads, we were running DM ads DM static ads, so picture ads as the DM ads, and that the retargeting never really worked from there.
Okay, so top of funnel follower ads, middle of funnel DM ads that are static photos.
Yes, but we're not like I'm not using those anymore. I'm not using static ads.
So you
So
change.
he said, this is really interesting what he said as well. And I thought it was interesting because they're so fucking easy to make, but for your front end, you're using carousel ads. So you're not doing, hey, are you a busy mother, blah, blah, blah. Basically what you do is, for example, are you a videographer working for an agency that's not getting paid that they're worth, ... And then you create like 6 different slides. Step 1, created a niche and blah, blah. Step 2, figure out a way to lead generation. Next slide. This is exactly how John was able to produce 60 leads in his city in the past 30 days that allowed him to quit his job. Want to learn more about how to be a videographer that's not per town and get what you're paid? Follow us here.
So carousel.
Yeah, so literally carousel ads that are like picture ads, like little pictures that tell little stories. So he said those work like retardedly well, like on the front end in terms of like these follower ads. So we're actually going to use a lot more of that, and giving tips out and then asking for follows, or giving tips out and then asking for like, or using like a lead magnet.
So lead magnet is going to be top of funnel or middle funnel?
Top of.
So lead magnet and carousel.
Lead magnet, carousel ads, and follower ads are all on the front end. And then the only thing that's being retargeted is direct offer ads.
So carousel ads and the follower ads both ask for the same call to action, which is follow. So they're both follower ads. It's just different formats, right?
Yes, correct. Like different creatives. Yeah.
So one is a carousel, and the other one I would assume is the video. And then the lead magnet, that's a lead form ad.
So the lead magnet is, it's basically, there's 2 different ways you can do it, but it's almost the same as a follower ad, where it's like instead of asking them for a follow, you ask them to DM you a certain word. And once they DM you a certain word, you don't really care about trying to book a call with them right then and there because you're getting their name, email, phone number. Like you don't care about the follow is what I'm saying. Excuse me, I fucked that up. You don't give a fuck about the follow because you have their name, email, phone number. Who cares if they fucking follow you or not? But now you're able to take that script, Go ahead. You look like you were gonna say something.
The carousel is the carousel, and then the follower ad. Both of them are traffic campaigns optimized for follow. The one that's DM me this keyword, is that a DM ad? So is that an engagement campaign with a basic?
So good question. No. So it's an engagement ad. It's a boosted post.
So all of them are boosted posts then.
No, not the direct offer ad, not the middle of funnel.
Okay, I'm talking about just top of funnel right now.
Okay, if you're talking about just top of funnel, he hasn't told me the specific way to do it, but you could do it either way. You can either run an engagement ad and then ask them to DM you a specific word. Then the cost per lead should be lower because it's not a direct offer ad. Or you boost a post that's doing like well, or you have like the 3 tips and it's kind of like follow my page, and if you want this thing, DM me the word blah blah and I'll send it over to you.
Got it. So
Or
basically,
comment the word X and I'll send it over to you.
okay, so for top of funnel, both of those are traffic campaigns.
Awareness campaigns technically.
Is it awareness?
Yeah, because if you're running traffic campaigns, so like, okay, if I go here,
I'm going to ads manager. If I do a traffic campaign at the ad set level is when I have the option to do IG follower.
okay, so here are the campaigns, right?
Yeah.
You're using traffic.
Uh-huh. And this is
what is your performance goal? Maximize number of profile visits?
Instagram profile. And then I thought that there was something like maximize like profile. Yeah. So saying that this is not it.
Yes. So if you go to awareness, if you go to an awareness campaign, then you have the performance goal, which is here, and then you have this page. So you have to use the what sort of ads? Is it awareness or traffic? It might be traffic. I might have screwed that up. Instagram profile.
Yeah, it's traffic.
Okay. I was just confused because I said awareness, but it's
You're going to do a traffic campaign. So you're going to do this for both the carousel and the video to get the followers. And then the one when it's like, hey, shoot me a message, that one is going to be, instead of a traffic campaign, that one's going to be an engagement campaign. And at the ad set level, there's like 2 different kinds. There's like one where you can click a button. There's one that could type something. With the one that they can type something, in my experience, that one's a lot cheaper than the one where they can click a button. So you're doing so you're basically doing that for top of funnel.
Yeah, basically, yep. Exactly.
Okay. So
funnel is kind of like what we were running before.
Yeah, it sounds like it's pretty much exactly what you're doing before. So middle of funnel, what are they doing for middle of funnel?
So just direct DM ads. So it's not a DM me the word this for my free meal guide. It's like, hey, if you're a woman, it's like, I'm looking for 5 guys doing blah, blah, blah. So go straight to the offer.
Okay, so what kind of campaign is that?
Engagement.
Okay, so basically they have an engagement for top of funnel and they have an engagement for middle of funnel. It's the same shit. Same kind of campaign.
Yeah, but for follower, you definitely don't want to use engagement.
Right. So they have 2 traffic campaigns to get followers, and they have 1 engagement campaign to get the lead magnet, whatever. And then that's top of funnel, and then for middle of funnel, they have an engagement campaign. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so if I had to draw it out, like say this is your first campaign, right? Oh, wait, let me make it so it can't go away. All right, so like this is your campaign. Let's just put like campaign 1. And then this one is for like followers, right?
Yeah.
Or like indirect. So he calls it indirect because it's not an exact offer. So indirect followers. What I would do is I would have 2 different ad sets, and then ad set 1 would be like video.
Got it. And then the other one would be the
This
carousel.
one, it would be carousel.
And
then here would be like hook 1, hook 2, hook 3. And then same thing here, hook 1, hook 2, hook 3. And then basically there's certain KPIs that he gave me in terms of like what is good for these numbers. And then what he told me was obviously go through and try to book a call from the follower ad things. And then also I can try out DMing and getting name, email, phone numbers because we're asking people to join the community now, which is just email. He's saying run retargeting ads, which are DM ads, and then have the ad sets and have them targeting 50%
Video viewers.
video viewers on a specific video that you can post, right? So that would be like for my free guide, you would target 50% video viewers. And then also he said engagers. Which was interesting to me because he's not necessarily
So
talking
these,
followers.
I'm sorry? So
So
he's not,
what I found that was interesting that we were doing that he was not, that's extremely different, is in our retargeting, we were running our ads to followers.
I see. I know what he's doing.
That. He's running the ads to people that are engaging in 50% of video views that are asking for like invitations to free shit, and then people that actually engage with the posts.
So here's what you guys are doing. You're going after top of funnel, and then if this is all middle of funnel, you guys are going after these people in middle of funnel where he's going deeper into middle of funnel. He's like top middle funnel, bottom middle funnel.
Yeah. So basically it's like, okay, we have our follower.
I get what he's doing. That's very interesting.
That's like, okay, some action happens here.
Yeah.
And then when the action happens here, then we're going to DM ad.
So really quick, the retargeting DM ads that's middle funnel, give me, so that's like, hey, I'm looking for 5 people that want this, click the button below or DM me this keyword. And then right away that goes. Hey,
yes. So
let me ask you something. Let's go to a phone call.
Yeah. So that's what the difference between indirect follower is. And then like this would be.
Which one has a higher return on ad spend? Middle of funnel or top of funnel?
I didn't really ask him that.
Interesting.
He also said instead of trying to do 3K for 6 months, he said that we should do 5K for a year.
Huh. So wait, so 3K for 6 months, 5K for a year. Why? Cash flow or what?
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like, basically, I would do this because the people that are willing to pay this, like anyways, like if you're using Firm, which I was like, yeah, we are. He's like, yeah. Then realistically, if you think about this, you're collecting more here, which is the 5K, and the payment. Like the payment is $400 versus here, which is technically they're paying more and getting less service. He's saying, so if you needed more cash flow, I would switch this to 5K, and then they would actually end up paying less on a payment plan for a year versus 6 months and still having more. So he's basically saying like, dude, you can raise your price if you wanted to, and you can move toward this direction if you want.
Also, I'm guessing whether someone pays 5K or 3K, it's not what your service delivery is dependent on is how much time and energy they're going to die. And everybody usually they're going to go 3-4 months and they're going to fucking give up anyways.
Exactly. Well, we try not to let that happen, but at the same time, it's like our service delivery it's not something like the difference between a 6-month service delivery and 12-month service delivery for us is the actual $2,000 because it's not that hard.
You're gonna make way more money for sure. That makes way more money for sure. Huh.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So if you pivot toward that, I mean, there's so many other things I can share with you. That's just like one thing.
The big thing I see that you're doing different now that you weren't doing is the middle of funnel. That's the big thing I'm seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that we really dialed in with like our offer and like who we're marketing to now. So we kind of established a different niche. He said this. I thought this was super interesting because like I had him go over my numbers and stuff like this, and he said that the lead from like a follower ad to like a booked call should be 7%.
7% of people should 7% of your followers.
For example, yeah. So if I have 100 followers I think what he's saying is 7% of them should go to a book call if I'm doing everything right,
And then
which
out of,
ours was like 2%.
so you guys before were 2%.
Yes.
So out of 100 followers, 7% should book, and then what percent of those should show up? Half of them?
So this is another thing that was interesting. So our show up rate has been very sporadic from month to month. It's never been any sort of consistent. Go ahead.
That tangent. So you guys out of 100, you'll get 2% to book. So what is your bottleneck? Is your bottleneck the messaging inside of the is it the setter? Was it the setter?
I think so. I think it definitely could have, especially like I haven't gone like too far in depth of like what exactly they're saying, but I've read like parts of their script. I'm like, oh, that's really good. And it's interesting because that was the direction we were heading into anyway, in terms of like giving them that free resource and getting a way where we can nurture them. Because I think a lot of people or other fitness coaches are letting people fall through the cracks. Where now it's like we have this huge email sequence and we have the Go Alva community, we have ways to reach out to them more and more. And then what we're doing is, I think what's happening as well is it's like obviously the setter, but it's the system behind the setter too, right? So what I mean by that is like, am I still sharing my screen? Is anyone there? Or am I just talking to myself?
We can hear you. Can you not hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. So with this new survey, what we were doing is like, we have the link in bio, right?
Wait, when does this come in? Like this is after they book a call, before they book a call?
I'm just going to run it through the entire thing.
Okay.
So we have a link in our bio, right? So I will just tell you like, this was what was before, what we had set up.
Real quick. Cam, I hope you're paying attention because this is all messenger stuff. This is all stuff really like this. You see how this is very different than what you're doing for lead forms and like conversion. It's a completely different thing, but this is like a spider web. So anyways, just wanted to make sure you're paying attention.
So this is kind of what we had, and I'll tell you exactly what we did in terms of like how we set our appointments versus what they're having us do now. And I still need to get clarification on this because I'm not exactly sure because we're not at that stage in the program yet, but we're going to be there because we just set up all the tech this week. And it doesn't really matter. So we had a link in a bio that went to our VSL. And on that VSL, there was a button. Once they clicked that button, it would just bring them to the calendar page. And then they would book the call, and then we would do the sales call. So when we were running ads, basically we skipped this part per se. I'm just telling you, like, this is how it works organic. So here, if I just do this, this is actually will probably help somebody out. This is organic. Wait, let me go back to blue. Okay. And then this, so when we were running ads, what happened was we would send them a link here. They would go into the calendar, they'd fill out a form. So it would go here to a thank you page. On that thank you page is our VSL. And then we would go to a sales call. So this is what would happen if we were running ads, and this is strictly organic. So we just had a link in the bio. That was basically it. Now, in terms of what I think they're going to have us do next is this, which is completely different than what we were doing before. And I think this is why the call booking rate with them being 7% is higher than our 2%.
Wait, give me a second. I just want to make sure I understand this first.
Yep.
So I don't understand the difference between blue and yellow, other than blue is like somebody, or when you say organic, it's like so organic is like somebody that has followed a long time ago, followed from some organic content. Okay, so what they do is they click the link in the bio. When they click the link in the bio, it takes them to a page with a VSL. And then after the VSL, they takes them to a calendar page. They answer, and they go to sales call. Okay. If somebody comes from paid ads, you're running the ad right to the calendar page. I don't think you guys are ever doing that.
So no, it doesn't go to the calendar page, but we ask them to book in the calendar, then they fill out the form, and then it goes to the VSL, and then it goes to the sales call.
Wait, hold on. I think I understand. So
the only difference between this and this is the organic journey looks different because they have to come into a link in our bio, and then they get presented with the VSL first. Then they have the chance to book the call or not.
Yeah.
The difference between us is now we're booking the call and asking the questions up. Like this is before, like what I was doing. And then I'm going to show you what we're switching to in both the paid ads and the organic.
So paid ads.
Showing you what I did.
Yeah, I know. So paid ads, they do the follower ad, whatever. You have a conversation, you send them to the calendar page. The calendar page, they go to it, and then from the calendar page, they go to a thank you page with a VSL on it, and then they go to okay. I see. So before they're watching the VSL first, now they're watching the VSL. I'm sorry, organic, they watch the VSL first. Paid,
Correct.
they watch. Okay,
Correct. Because now there's different steps between what it looks like in terms of organic and paid ads as well. So with organic now, we have a link to our bio that goes to a survey. Okay. So the link to the bio goes to a survey. It's basically like a calendar form, right?
Is this something you already have, or you think that this is what you're going to move towards?
No, we already have this now.
Because of Jordan?
Because of IFC, yes, because of IFCA. So what they're doing as now is like there's a link in our bio, it goes to a survey. The way the survey works is like a type form. If you don't know what that is, okay. So it's a type form. So from the type form, okay, it's automatically going to a calendar page after that. So I'm capturing their details on the front end without even asking them a date and time to pick. So once I have their information, I can go ahead and get on a discovery call if I need to book them into a sales call, which was something we weren't doing.
So you're saying before, if the paid ad situation, you get them to a calendar page and they're like, fuck it, I'm bouncing.
Yes, exactly. So that's part one of where we could be fucking up.
Of why people are not booking. So you have all these setters, all this conversation, you send a link, and then people are like, nah, peace.
Exactly. So that could be a reason.
I see.
Now the second thing, and this is kind of think the direction we're going to head in, is if they submit this type form and because of the question that we ask in it can kind of basically disqualify people like, hey, dude, you got money? Do you have a partner or what? And like, is this a good time for you to even do this? Like, are you a good fit?
Can I ask what's a type form?
Type form is basically like a form that you'd put in go high level, but essentially instead of filling it all out at once, it's kind of like one question, you click next, and that's another one, and it's just like a form that you just keep clicking and going. It's like a survey.
Okay.
It's like boom, 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 done, submitted.
Okay.
Does that clarify? Okay. So now what I think is going to happen is depending on the volume that we're able to book between here and here, from doing one call closes and two call closes if we need to one follow up with people that didn't book time in the calendar, and two booking people in that weren't necessarily like super qualified at the beginning to see if they'd be even good fit to the sales call. What I think they're going to make us do is this. So now we have the follower ad or whatever ad we're running, right? We reach out to them. We manually book a phone call. And then this right here is an automatic discovery call.
Wait, so follower, what does that mean? Manually book a phone call. What does that mean?
So instead of sending them to a calendar or sending them to a page for a VSL, it's like, do you have time to chat for 15 minutes?
Okay.
It's literally booking discovery call inside the DMs, no tech required.
Okay.
So once we're here from the discovery call, we're like, hey, dude, like, you think you'd be a good fit, blah, blah, blah. And then we could have them fill out the survey if we sensed anything that was like sketchy or if there was like a husband issue or a money issue or something along the lines of that to make sure that they're a good prospect. And then from the survey, like after this discovery call, excuse me. So from the follower ad, we'd manually book the phone call. On the discovery call, we'd have them fill out a survey before they get on the sales call.
Okay. So follower ads, hey, give me a follow. They give you a follow, have the conversations, I had DMs. Oh, dude, let's totally have a phone call. Hop on the discovery call. Hey, dude, Yeah, no, I think I can actually help you. Do you mind if I send you a survey real quick? You send them a survey, they answer that stuff. If it feels sketchy, if not, you don't need to send them a survey. Then you push that to a sales call.
Correct. And I think with more volume, with the more like this is probably like
The thing that you guys were doing, so you're saying that the fuck up before was you follow ad, have a conversation at DMs, and then from there you try to send them a link to book some shit, which is like, nah, let's just fucking hop on a fucking call, bro.
exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That makes sense.
So this is kind of the what I circle and red is kind of like the bare bones, like, hey, like you don't want to add any friction, like here's probably what you should do. And then as you advance, it's kind of like let's go from the follower ad to the like let's get them to go inside the survey and then see if they book the call. Then if they book the call, there's no issue. But then the people that fill out the survey, they don't book the call, okay, then you book the call here.
What I've noticed, man, is like everybody, like the Grayson, Lupus, and all those guys, and Boris, they're doing this whole thing, right? And what I've come to find is like basically you start there, and then from there you go into the VSL call funnel, and then from the VSL funnel you go into the low ticket funnel. And the reason for that is one reason. It's simply volume. With the follower stuff, it's the highest return ad spend, everything like that, highest touch point. But like it just requires so much fucking, there's just so much
So
volume.
much volume to there's so many working parts to it to make it work. And then it's like, fuck, what happens if I could just run an ad to a page where they just book in and then I just take the fucking sales call? This is gonna take me way less time than doing all the fucking other pieces of the puzzle.
As you progress, you're just spending more money to get more time back. And so therefore, as you go from this to this to this, your LTV must be higher.
Yeah, I was talking about Jordan with that too. He's like, yeah, like I mean, you could even have a VSL funnel. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, like the cost per lead is gonna be higher, but the good news is like those people are gonna be a lot more sellable. I'm like, yeah, I've never really done that, so I don't want to do it.
I think what it is also, I think it's two factors. Here's what I think. I think if you when you go from follower to VSL to low ticket, not only so a few things have to happen. Your volume gets less, the quality gets better only if your marketing is better. So your marketing has to get substantially better as you go to this route. Your market has to get better because you do less volume. Your LTV has to be higher. Your sales have to be better. That's what it is as you move forward to right. Versus on the left. So as you move to the right, what I've come to find is like the stressful part for me, doing low ticket, doing purchaser, like not doing VSL funnel, I'm always like worried about when the ad's gonna stop working.
Right.
Versus here, you're never fucking worried about it.
You're just like, how good am I at closing? This is always gonna cost around the same. This isn't gonna just
Well,
not
I,
necessarily.
I think the issue here is training and managing reps. So if you look at Tanner Chittister's business, he said he had like fucking 50 reps. He's focusing, he was for a while, he was here. He was just doing a like social funnel, all that stuff to like set up sales call, discovery calls for his business. And so he had like 50 employees. So this is the complexity here. The complexity at this stage is managing sales reps and a team. This is a much bigger team you have to actually manage because it's a much as setters and closers.
So many, yeah, there's so many parts. You have to have the setter, you have someone to take discovery calls. Yeah, you need to have someone look at the surveys, you need to have someone closing them, you need someone setting the contract, you need someone actually coaching them.
So imagine this, right? So here's the difference. Here's where you fucking fucking demolish this shit. Is just the hardest shit, but it's the most simplest shit. But it's the hardest shit is just doing this, but getting people to pay way more money and getting them to never stop paying. If you can do that, and if you can crack operation to manage people, oh, bro.
He was talking about back end offers too. Like we didn't get to that stage yet in like our program, but there's like back end offers that he has already like made that we follow or something.
Let me know what those are. I'd love to know. I'd be curious to know what those are.
I don't know exactly how he pitches it, but I can figure it out.
That's the secret sauce. If you can get people to stay forever, bro, that's it.
Yeah, I mean that's what he does with IFCA. I mean, like I figured, so you pay $1 a month for like the 3 months that you're inside, and then after you're outside the program or whatever, it goes back to 97 a month. So basically he uses he uses all these templates and all these things instead of Go High Level, and then he's like, yeah, it's $97 a month after.
Wait, are you talking about like for his IFCA program?
Yeah. So when you're so basically, it's like if people were in the cinema marketing cheat code, they would pay $1. So if you're selling a 3-month program, they would pay $3 over the entire month. But because they would have everything built inside their system and they have it white labeled, that their price of the program would go back up to $97 a month. And then you would make all of the commission after that. So basically they're starting your business and making sure you're successful for 3 months. Then they're like, okay, like I'm sure it's baked into their back end offer, but it's like,
Oh, you're talking about that $20 thing. I thought you were talking about something else.
what
Are you
20 what are we
I'm so fucking confused.
brother, IFCA, okay. What they do to make recurring revenue is they have Go High Level inside of everything. They have all of the systems all set up inside Go High Level. And they make it stupid as shit not to use. You don't pay $97, you pay $1.
I thought you said something about $20 a year. Oh, is this what you mean? It's like $1 a month to equal 20 a year. That's what you meant.
Yes, but I didn't know this. So it's $1 for the 3 months. Once your mentorship is done with IFCA, it becomes $97 a month after that.
I see.
So they make what they make on the front end, and then they make $600 a year on the back end.
So
And
it's
that
like,
include their back end offer.
so if you quit the coaching program, they're still getting paid $600 a year from you forever.
Correct.
Nice. That
Correct.
makes yeah, to me it's still a little bit like I guess I get it. Here, okay, so I feel like the people that would get blown away by that offer are people like me and you who understand that Go High Level bare minimum is $97 a month. And so if somebody comes there like, yo, you had this cheat code where I have to only pay $3, like fuck yeah. But like I don't know why like that they would do that for the average personal trainer because the average personal trainer does not know that unless it's gonna be like a make or break, like, oh, I would like to do IFCA.
I just think they make it so like in the videos, like in their teaching videos, they're like, well, if you had our IFCA software, then it's just a click of a button, or you could use a Google Typeform, so you got to go do that. So they make it really hard not to use it.
So do you think okay, so maybe
I asked someone, I was like, yo, let me get a snapshot of this, and they're like, no.
wait, so do you think that the dollar actually that makes more sense? So it's like because me, I will have so for me, what I've come to find is that nobody clicks on the Go High Level links or anything like that until I send them a Loom video with value. Then they will go and actually click the links and everything like that. So that makes sense. So it's like, hey, because I think a lot of people don't click on it and don't get access to it because it's $97 a month. So I think that's actually that okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so that's what they do, but inside the videos, they're very much so like there's different ways to do things, but if you had our software, this is already downloaded for you, and this is how you use it. Boom, done.
So they don't give you a snapshot?
Nope. Because they white label everything. They can go into my account and take things in and out of it if they wanted to.
Oh, I don't know how Go High Level works like that. So
they pay $500 a month, and basically you're signing up in Go High Level as a part of their Go High Level.
Mm.
Therefore, at any point, because I'm only charging you $1 a month right now, or whatever much amount, I control what you have access to for that dollar amount. So basically, all they're doing is by month 3, they're changing the subscription price to go from Go High Level from $1 to 97.
Interesting. But the thing, so the people that are paying $1, that's because those people are taking a course. They're not in the coaching program, right? They came through their free school community or whatever.
So I think no. So I think most of the people that are inside the coaching program are in the
See that
you have to be inside their school community. You have to be inside their coaching program, in their community.
So here's the thing. For me, in our coaching program, every single person that's in the coaching program gets access to Go High Level and uses it forever. Every single person. If I was doing a coaching program, I have no incentive or no reason to charge people $1. If I'm selling my course for $47, now all of a sudden, yeah, I want to fucking get a bunch of people on for $1. If I had a school community and had hundreds or thousands of people in my community, yeah, I'm going to make it $1 to make it as easy as possible, and then I'm going to change it up on people. That makes sense. So that's what I was asking. Is like, are they doing a school thing like that as well, where they're charging $1 for that thing?
Yeah, I don't think so. No, because I think you have to be invited to the group.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why they would still fucking do the dollar then, man. It still doesn't make sense. Because if you're in a coaching program, you paid 5 Gs, like you're gonna fucking download a $97 per month software. Like I don't know why anyone fucking wouldn't. I don't know. But
I think it's because they just make sure that you get it.
because it's so valuable, it's so important.
Right. It makes it like almost required to get it. And then it's like, dude, if it's $1, like fuck it. So maybe their conversion between like people actually using it and being like, oh, I could probably get away with like not using it was a lot higher than just being like, dude, we already have this built out. It costs a fucking $1. Like, why would you not?
Interesting. Okay.
Because I mean, you gotta remember who you're talking to. Like, you're talking to personal trainers, so like fucking retarded when it comes to tech.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, I'd rather just want everything built for me. And especially like if even if they had a free school community, people would be like pissed if they had to pay $97. It's like I thought this shit was free anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, dude, we're gonna help you out for free, and we'll charge you a fucking $1 for the help.
Huh. One thing that could be cool, I mean, is running an amazing cold top of funnel ad and offering all this amazing shit for $1 and then doing the white label shit. And you help people get results and
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, we could do that, right? Here's what we could do. We could literally run an ad, 6-figure, 6-week sales funnel. It's only $1. You'll get a personal account, personal rep, everything. It's literally $1 to do the entire trial. Get them results within 7 days, 14 days. Somebody closes a deal usually by then, and then now they have no choice but to use the software. That would fucking crush, bro.
there you go.
You know, fuck. The more you know about Go High Level, I like Go High Level now.
Yeah.
Fuck Go High Level. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I could give you like if you want, I can just give you my username and password, and then you can go through their course and everything too.
I mean, I think I could do that, or you could educate us on these coaching calls and share the sauce with everybody else too. I think
Yeah,
people,
whatever you want. Like I have a lot of information.
yeah. No, send me the stuff if you want. I mean, how much is it? Like how much material is it? Is it like 10 hours of content, 30 hours of content, 100 hours of content?
It's some content, but you would probably only look at certain ones. Like you wouldn't look at like coaching clients. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't learn about nutrition 101 and that bullshit.
What I'd be curious about is like what you shared earlier with like the schematics of the top of funnel, middle funnel. Like that's the shit that I find fascinating.
Yeah, so you'd be interested in like they
That-
teach paid
I thought-
shout outs. They show you meet like here, let me show my screen again. Okay. Paid advertising. So they have intro to paid advertising, key terminology and metrics. And then it has like, okay, here's the follower funnel, exactly how it works. Here's the DM funnel, exactly how it works. And then the spider web funnel. So here's like the overview. Here's how it works. And budget and expectations. Hey, it should be $10, less than $10 for book for the about $150 for book for call. This is the acquisition cost. Here's your return on ad spend. Ad strategy overview, right? DM funnel, budgets and expectation. Less than $10 per call gives you all the numbers. Follower funnel, it's like, hey, okay, here's what it looks like. Here's making your creative. Here's how to launch ads. Messaging new followers. It gives you the exact scripts that they use. Everything.
Neeson, I was thinking about something. Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, we'll definitely have to like check this out. But, off tangent. I was thinking for the follower stuff. Run the follower ad. Oh my God, if this shit's like $1, bro, so much crazy shit we can do this. But having videographers do the follower funnel. So 6-figure, 6-week sales funnel, keep that the way it is. People do the follower funnel. And then what we do is this could be crazy. Every single like state has like a videographer tied to a certain location. So like, for example, in LA, we would have like 7 videographers and that's it. We wouldn't take on any other videographers. They all do like the social funnel. They all have their location. And so then you build up this fucking massive community of like 100 videographers that are all part of like this big ass LLC. And it's proprietary. They have no choice but to use our stuff. And they have to pay a certain percentage. It's kind of like a franchise.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. It's like helping local businesses, but as a franchise for videographers that don't need a location at all. It's just like, hey, your business is your business.
It's like my face, the Cinema Market Cheat Code face, is in every single state helping them, but then the operators are the videographers.
Right.
And then the only way that they can use the ad, the funnel, because we have white labeled it, is through us. And so the moment, does that make sense?
Why would they have to go through us though, specifically?
Because we would put in a contract, we would legally make it where they
Yeah,
can't use,
that's how I was wondering. Okay.
yeah, they can't use the ad, they can't use the offer, they can't use anything without paying us a royalty fee, for example.
Hmm.
Now you have like lifetime fucking retention.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's where my head was at for the follower stuff. If we can get that, if we can crack that stuff for the guys for local.
Because probably the exact strategy that I'm like there was a lady that I was working with inside my program that was just like sucking, and she was having a really hard time like booking calls and stuff. We literally took the same exact ad. Instead of going all US, we hit it local and then added a new hook that had to do with location. Bro, her cost per book call right now is $60.
Wait, she's a personal trainer or what?
Yeah.
So her cost per book call was through the roof when you're targeting US, and then she went to her local location, and then now her numbers are good.
Yes. And it was the follower ad strategy. Like it was quick, bro. It was like this.
What was she doing before? She was doing lead forms, she was doing messenger ad. What was she doing before?
Doing follower ads, but statewide, worldwide. All she did was we changed the links in her bio. We changed what the bio looked like. We crafted up a new ad and then launched it locally, and that's all we did. We haven't even touched like 3 tips to do this. It's literally just the top of funnel, no middle of funnel, and she's like crushing it. But it's the reason why she's crushing it is simply because it's local.
Fucking weird, man. I don't know. I don't get it, but it is. I will take it. I will take it.
That's what I've seen, man. Like, I mean, I'm looking at like it would work for anybody in a local market. Like, I really have the conviction where if like there's an ad out there and it's just like, yo, are you in the Columbus area that hates to mow your lawn? Well, guess what? We're a company that loves to do it. Blah 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 X, Y, and Z. If this sounds interesting to you, or you want to see us mow lawns, crack jokes to your neighbors, give us a page a follow where we're the best lawn care business in X area. Bro, you message all your followers, dude, it's stupid as fuck. Like you'd think no one would follow you, and then they just all follow you. Super simple shit. It's weird.
So the overall strategy would be
Like if you're spending, like this is what I would say, and I think this is worth trying. If you're spending, how much have you spent on the messenger ads, Cam?
How much have I spent?
Yeah, how much have you spent so far?
Messenger ads like maybe $30.
Okay, so you spent $30, but okay. So that already looks good. So in terms of like building something out and what it looks like, what you may consider testing is kind of what I just said. Are you a homeowner in like make sure you say homeowner. Like, are you a homeowner in X area that wants to X, Y, and Z without blah 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 blah? If so, follow our page where we come into Syracuse local homeowners' houses and give them a cleaning that allows them to X, Y, and Z. That's it. And you just boost a fucking post. And because the CPM of a local area in a traffic campaign is so fucking little, dude. Every single time they open their phone, bro, it's like a top of funnel ad, but also a retargeting ad. Like it's that crazy. That's why I think it's so powerful.
Right. Yeah.
And basically, when someone follows that page, Cameron, you just say something along the lines of like, "Hey, thanks for following my page. When's the last time that you got your house cleaned?" Or like, "Why did you follow our page?" Or, "Thanks for following our page. Just wanted to say hi from blah 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 blah. Like,
Right.
where are you located?
Right. Okay. And then in terms of how I would make a course to kind of teach them how to make their page, would it just be like just film random shit, put it into
Don't worry
CapCut?
about the course and shit. You know, you have to verify the shit works.
Yeah, right.
Like, don't worry about the course and shit. Just go see if it works first, then create the fucking course shit. Don't worry about the course shit.
Right.
Go do a few more of the messages stuff, right? See if
Yeah,
you can.
don't do everything that I just said. Like, just one ear out the other. Wait for the
Right.
message. See if you can get it to work. If you can get it to work, like, disregard everything I just said. But when you're like ready, like, okay, there's another strategy that I need to try and I need to do to see if I can get more leads, I would suggest you do that one.
If you can.
Yeah, and you guys call it a follower ad strategy? Follower
Yes.
ads? Okay.
Don't just focus on the messaging. See if you can get him to book consistent, bookings, 5, 10, and we can start implementing Mason's social funnel with you, because it seems like it would help out tremendously if messages do work indeed. I could totally see an ad working where you educate people on Duct. It's like a 1-minute ad, and then for retargeting, we retarget the people that watch 50% of that video, for example. Right? So anyways, this has been cool. Thank you for sharing all that with us, Mason. I will go and close out of this if you guys want to hop on a tech, and I can hang out for a little bit as you guys work through some stuff. Is that something you still want to do, Cam?
Yeah, I don't think it should take too long.
Okay, cool. So I'll go and close out of this then. And then Mason, if you want to drop a link.